Kind of do world. Ooh. Wow. Okay, that's something. Bug, how's it going, man? How you doing? How long were you on the server for? After I logged off, I just passed out. I was so sleepy, fuck. Devil, how's it going? Not first now. Not too long after you left? Okay. I explored a bit of the north. Nice. Nice. Latch. Okay. C-O-M. Nice. Okay. We'll wait for like 5 minutes, and then we'll do so. I had to help my Okay, yeah, no worries, Devil. You're good, man. Did you log on after Devil to get home, or have you still not logged on after? This is cooked. This is bad. Okay, I'm actually gonna put this on light mode because. Wow, that is a flashbang. Jesus. It can't be Mocha. H and A both don't exist. Get it together. You got home? Okay, nice. Okay, we'll wait for like 5 more minutes, and then we'll do some reactions to the interviews. Wallflower, how's it going, man? And see, because yeah, exactly. The dark mode's hard to see. Yeah. Okay, so Welch. Oh, we're cooked. Ramiro, how's it going, man? How you doing? Oh, we're so cooked. Oh, we're so cooked, boys. Comet. Of course, it's not Comet because there's no ET. C-O-U-C. Couch? Okay. Maki. C-O-M. Comic, but there's no I. So M can be here or XXM. I'm gonna Kami. Okay, we were close. We were close. We were pretty close. We'll take those. That one hurt. That one hurt. Because I was so far away and I got so close. Got so close. That one hurt. Normally if I don't get Wordle it's kind of whatever, but comfy. That's stupid. Rave. Goat. Do hard pips. Brother, I can barely do like easy pips, okay? Don't judge me. Cranberry. Strawberry. Blueberry. Jackberry is not a thing. Raspberry. You're kidding. These guys are evil. These guys are actually evil. New York Times. Actual fucking evil people, dude. What the fuck? Go. Hero. Check. Je peux t'entendre dans mon cœur. Seriously, remember, that was bad, right? Like, come on. I thought I had that for sure. Actually, let me get the interviews pulled up. Another Lord of the Mysteries did a cosplay. I know. I popped by Avataku's stream. I know, I saw. Username, the okay. No, fuck it. Let's do, let's react to this. Let's react to this really quickly. We'll do a couple reactions and then we'll start reading, okay? So this, and then let me actually just get a couple of the stuff. You should cosplay as Trissy. Thanks, Adam. I will keep that in mind. I mean, we can just react to all of them. Fuck it. I don't know why I'm so stupid. I should have just opened this in another tab. Open this in a new tab. Open this in a new tab. Cool. Cool. All right. Let's do some reacting, baby. Let's go. Thanks, guy. I appreciate it. 480p, I guess. Probably since the start of my career, this has to be the most torturous project. Jesus Christ. This hits different after you hear the whole manhwa situation for Lord of the Mysteries. Did you guys hear about that, by the way? There's apparently one artist for the entire manhwa. The guy says he works like 17 hours a day. There's a combination of 1:3 and 1:1 animation. Is this referring to aspect ratio? What is this referring to? That's cute. That's a cute little. Brief self-introduction. I mainly do character drafts. Animation supervisor for Lord, character design and general animation supervisor. Okay. I'm also the chief animation supervisor. When the original character draft is made, before the design is finalized, you need what? You need to set the tone for the character, then design elements for the character. I will say, in terms of this, she has done a phenomenal job. All the characters feel like what they should feel like. You know what I mean? Like when the animation enters the middle stage, we correct the design. Like, Daily feels like she has that vibe of, like, that I would expect Daily to have. Done feels like a calming presence. Like, it all feels right. It feels good. What stories from character designs can you share with us? This project in 2021. Jesus Christ. Started designing the characters simultaneously as other projects. I tried to make sure the designs weren't similar to previous projects, so we did some external testing. That's good. So when I'm inclined, we need to revise it more than a dozen times. That's crazy, right? Like, that's actual what would be the right word? Like, that's actual dedication of the craft. Like, you make a thing, you send it out for testing, not the results we want. Okay, scrap it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And just keep doing it until we get the results we want. Like, that's actual. They kept the feel of the characters. Exactly. And that's like a really important thing, because sometimes you'll have like you'll have an adaptation that doesn't feel like it fits, you know? Like everything looks fine, but the characters don't feel like them. They don't feel like the version of themselves that you envisioned, or that or probably more importantly, the one that the author envisioned, which is like a big deal. This is the first time in my career the project has been so torturous. Are there any specific elements that come to design? Specific elements, for example, their clothing style. That's okay, including the aesthetics of the clothing in the mid to late 19th century. Very good. Men's shirts were wide wrinkle type with cotton and linen materials, or more to the nobility. Okay, see, like, I would never even thought of that, but like, now that she says it, it's so obvious. Like, Audrey's clothes are going to be made of a completely different material than anyone else's in the show, except for like her family, of course, or like Duke Negan or some bullshit, because like she has a level of money that no one else could even fucking fathom. Klein's character visually. Then there's the hairstyle, which is slightly curly, with the whole face. We start from the base 2D character, and then I'll enhance it and change small features on him. For example, his nose is slightly curvy and upturned. Wait, what? Oh, slightly curvy up here. You see like a little bump. It's not a straight line. It's a little curvy. Fair. And then a little upturn. Cute. During the entire design process, were there any moments when you felt overwhelmed? I still feel probably throughout my entire animation career. This is the slowest project since we're a mature team. Wait, hold on. What was that on their thing? Okay, I don't know any of these, but those all seem cool. I haven't watched a lot of donghwas. Okay, I've talked about this. I've watched like 2 donghwas in my life, so you know, I don't know them. We shouldn't have, but in the early stages of this project, I felt like we couldn't do anything and we stalled to more than 10, and then even 40 key animators. Why do you need so many employees? Well, yeah, no shit, bro. It's so much. Like, why do you need so many employees? That is a true 10-cent maximizing shareholder value, dude. That guy's like, no, we need one animator working 17 hours a day, okay? He needs to do all the work. Number 3 is well above other animations, is that right? It's about 30 minutes. Tips for good luck and divination. The content of each frame of a second of 24 FPS is different. 24 pictures need to be made for 1 second. The 1 to 2 mode requires 12 pictures per second. The most common type, the most common type in China is 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. So basically, this is so like when it said like we were doing 1 to 1 or 1 to 3, that meant either we were using 24 frames per second or we were using 8 frames per second, effectively. Okay, I see what it means. And secondly, we use a combination of 1 to 2 and 1 to 1. So that'd be 12 frames or 24 frames. So the relative number of drawings will be larger, of course, because it said in China most common is 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, and they're using a lesser version. They're using like a lesser ratio, rather, not a lesser version. Apologies. So they're using more images per second, which, you know, will make it seem a lot more fluid, ideally, but obviously exponentially increases the work. Are there any happy moments? Happiness is a difficult moment. I love how this answer of happiness is a difficult moment to define basically means no. My life has been hell at work for the past 4 years. I think I want to get the final surprise that there is after hard work. For example, when I watched the first 6 episodes, just watching the episode was extremely close to what I had imagined in my head. That's really important too, right? the animators, fuck me, Jesus Christ, overwork at its peak, actually, dude. Like, the animators need to have a coherent vision that comes together. If that's not happening, you're gonna get this like dog shit, like piece of shit work that you're getting, because effectively at the end of the day, what's happening is, you have to remember, like, it's a lot of people working on one project, but it's a lot of people, which means if everyone has their own input and you're working towards a different goal, but like you're all pushing, you just get fucked. Because like one guy is going for something over here, another guy's pushing for something over here, someone's pushing for something over here, and then it makes an incoherent mess. So it's important that like when animators are like, okay, like this is what we're making, and then they see the final project, they're like, yes, this is what it's supposed to be. It at least meant like, okay, there was a coherent management, there was coherent like outlook on the entire project that makes it feel like it's one project, not a fucking hosh-posh of just a whole bunch of shit put together, right? The world building and the characters of the whole story, it really feels like it was starting to come together. That's really good too. 20, bro. So that's the 27th for us. So it's 2 days from now. Is it 48 hours from now? Is that right? Do you have that? I think I have the timeline right? Thank you. Quite uneasy, of course, yeah. Accept 2D, accept Lord of the Mysteries. That definitely makes this IP better and better. That is awesome. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Still time left? Only 48 hours, Ramiro. You waited a couple years. What's 48 more hours, dude? You're 20 years in this industry. This is probably the hardest script we've worked on. The average number of drafts is 7 or 8. Wait, what? So wait, they went through 7 or 8 entire drafts of the entire script? That's insanity. Because how many 30 minutes... Like, how many words do you figure that would be? That's got to be like couple 100,000 words probably. Maybe not quite that many, but it'd be a lot. In the process of adapting and creating scripts for Lord of the Mysteries, which part do you think was the hardest? Because Lord of the Mysteries, beautiful world building, there's a lot of information to adapt. Yes, thank you. Oh, that like, see again, because I think this is my, and I would assume most people's like biggest concern at this point, because they've done like a really, really good job with animation. I don't think most people have a concern with that anymore. At least I don't think. I think the biggest concern now is like adaptation and like timeline, like making sure everything feels as fleshed out as it should. Maybe it probably won't feel as fleshed out as the web novel. There's just no way to do that because the web novel just has a lot more time, right? You can spend chapters on stuff. In the novel, it was laid out bit by bit, but sometimes it could be an entire character's arc. True. But it was not so consistent. If we wanted to focus on that character's arc, we would need to abandon some world building. True. Thunder, how's it going, man? How you doing? See, like this sort of stuff, right? Like that's a calculation they have to make. Like they have to cut some stuff. It's just at the end of the day, how can the messages all come from mod? I think it's because I started a little bit earlier today, so it's just mostly, yeah, it's just more mostly Romero talking right now. Oh, good. It is nuts though, dude. Like how you do that calculation is scary, because like, what do you cut? Like for me, as like a math-brained person, as like a bank-ish person, it was like that whole like chapter, maybe not chapter, but like half a chapter where he was explaining the loan currency of like a pound is 12 soli, which is 20 pence, was like really cool to me. But like, do they get rid of that? I think a lot of people are at Avataku's stream. Oh, probably, yeah. But if it was not consistent and wanted to focus on adapting the character's arc, we would abandon some world building. Of course, yeah. Have a lot of discussion about trade-offs. Exactly, yeah. I'll go through the whole book or the overall plot later. When reading, we thought of many ways to preserve the plot. Very good. Sometimes you can preserve whole lines. Sometimes you have to preserve a visual. Oh, I see. Sometimes you have to turn dialogues into a visual and save time that way, which would save a lot of time. Like, if there's an entire paragraph about a pound is 12 solis 20 pence, well, that's one visual. That's literally 1 second a frame, and then like people can pause on it and take a look, and it's done, as opposed to spending a lot of time, right? Yeah, what to keep for the plot? Yeah. Firstly, it's wait, hold on. What principles did you follow in deciding what to keep for the plot? Firstly, it's definitely to respect the original work. Very good. Also, when watching the adaptation, it should reflect the worldview and emotions of the original. Very true. Yeah. Again, you wanna be respectful to the original artist, right? Yeah, it can save a lot of time because world building is easy with anime. Yeah, exactly. Because world building, there needs to be a lot more of in a novel, because you're relying on the reader's imagination to do so much work. Shark, how's it going, man? How you doing? You're relying on the imagination of the reader to do a lot of work for you. So, like, you need to give them a canvas for them to paint. But in an anime, I'm not really asking your imagination to do fuck all. Just watch. Right? So I can take away a lot of that stuff. I can take away all the... Like, every time we go to Audrey, I don't need it to state the opulent villa of Earl Hall. No, just show me a really big, really nice marble house. I'll get the idea. You know what I mean? Like, that's one... But like, you get the point. Good, just another work stream? Nice, Mr. Shark. What? I just missed what it said. Yeah. In addition to the difficult in making adaptation choices, were there any difficulty in original parts? Oh, like additions. We need to sort out the structure of each episode and sorting out what you need to talk about in that episode. The main plot, it needs a main point. And to guide the audience through the episode so they understand the plot smoothly. Very good. Because there's so many difficulties in describing it. For example, characters. Everyone cares about the protagonist's growth. They care about the protagonist's conflicts. Very good. Maybe the connection will be very good later, but for example, when you need to explain sequences, true, or explain some secret knowledge, there'll be some viewers that become less receptive. Very true. This is true. As you get to more and more abstract concepts, the pool of people that are interested becomes smaller and smaller. Most people care about the main character. What's happening to Klein? Maybe what's happening to Leonard, Don, Benson, Melissa, Daly. Maybe I'm missing a couple in the first volume, but like those big ones, right? Beyond that, it's like, okay, well, here's the 22 sequences, and there's 9, we're going to say. Potions for each sequence. Like, okay, well, fuck me, dude. You get so much. You sort out a way to put everything together in a creative process. The one way we do that is to talk about it from a different perspective. How many drafts did you make for the most difficult episode to adapt? I said the same thing. Not the most difficult, only harder. Oh, that's literally her saying like, well, not the most difficult yet, sweetie. We still have to make more, so I'm sure harder shit's coming. That's such a bitter laugh. In fact, many of our episodes basically have 8 drafts or more. Fuck, dude, that's so much. The average for revision seems to be 7 or 8. Gee, the later volumes are going to make them suffer. Yeah, dude. Well, hopefully the Donghua does really well, and then the Tencent is able to like increase budget for this project a lot more, meaning they get a lot more staff, so you know they're not overworked out of their fucking mind, because in fairness, look at this man's hairline. Holy shit. You know how we used to make fun that we can't keep making fun of Don? This man is our Don. Look at this, bro. Oh my god. Bro, this guy has to do another fucking volume with like little support. Holy shit, his hairline's gonna be fucking back up here, bro. We're cooked. There's 3 of us. Yeah, it's usually just 3 of us. They need like 3 or 4. They need more people, dude. Look at him. His eyes. He's like, I'm so done. I want to go home. I haven't seen my kid in an age. I miss their birthdays. In fact, a collision of ideas can help since there's many ways to solve a problem. Don't call him our Dun. We don't want to eat. He don't want him to eat his fellow animators. Good point. Mr. Shark coming in with the smart ideas. Very good. And with all the stress, we'll collide later after Dr. Mr. Leo and Director Xiong. Like, this lady seems younger, so, you know, she still seems like there's some life in her. Like, you know, because she's younger. She's still clinging on to life. Look at him. He's not talking. He's like, I haven't slept in 3 weeks. Like, holy fuck, dude. We often say we're blessed by the goddess of inspiration. You are blessed by the dragon of imagination, Ankh-Vault. During the script writing, you met the original author, Cuttlefish. What kind of interaction did you have? We talked a lot. For example, how did we plan for these 13 episodes? The content, the plot. And after each episode is completed, there's close communication. In the process of our discussion, we're very excited too. The professionalism of Cuttlefish is beyond our imagination. I feel like he's another screenwriter with the understanding of film and television. He has a very professional understanding that he can even point to things out to us in the middle of production. We're more inclined towards performance in film and television. In terms of worldview, his more serious side comes out. After all, he is the creator of the world. His understanding is much deeper than our own. That is like so vitally important. Getting the input of Cuttlefish. And I know, like, you guys told me a long time ago that like Cuttlefish was like intricately involved in the thing in the making of the Dawn Wall, which is, it's so unbelievable. Like, I can't emphasize it enough, because only with him doing that can he make sure that his vision is coming out like it's supposed to. Because again, at the end of the day, he made the world. He knows what it's supposed to feel like. He fucking built it with brick by brick, metaphorically. So like, that's really valuable. Behind the scenes of the happiest episode. What the fuck is the happiest episode? The most abstract episode. Ooh. It's really, really hard. No other way to sum it up. Very difficult. This is probably like, if I had to guess, where they're like explaining sequences or something like that. Like, they're like, fuck. Hold on. What did I miss? I'll be the one to ask for the most difficult parts. Dude, what a mad lad. He's truly our strongest soldier. For all the jokes we make. Our strongest... What the fuck was that cow? Here, I know this person's group and all have been contacted by the supernatural. I see. Their strongest soldier, actually. What's the main job of your position? What is the so-called post-animation stage? It just means to take things from previous parts and put it all together, making a final piece. Oh, okay, so like making individual parts come together effective? Is that like a good understanding? Like, a person does the background, another person does the character, another person does like objects, whatever, and then like he's putting it all together to make a coherent scene. Is that... That doesn't seem right. Is that right? How long have you been in the industry? 4 years and counting. What's the biggest difference between Lord of the Mysteries and other projects? It's hard. Exceptionally hard. It's really, really hard. It's a disaster. There are a lot of abstract... I love how it goes from like I ask for hard things. It's hard. It's really hard. It's a nightmare. He's like, oh God, what did I get myself into? Get me off this project. Like crazy ravings, mental shocks, eyes staring in the darkness. Even in the early stage, they can just draw an open eye, but when it comes to us, it's impossible to make a glowing eye look natural. It's quite abstract. That's fair. Because, like, there are things like the eyelashless eyes of the hidden sage or whatever that are abstract, but they're also real. Like when they show up, they shouldn't feel out of place. When I say out of place, like, you know, what I'm thinking of, Doctor Strange third eye, like this, like, bro, this looks like hot garbage. Holy fuck. Like, no, Ramiro, this looks unsettling, but not in the way it's supposed to, okay? This looks fucked. What is that? Okay? Like, they need to fix that. So, like, they can't have that. And it needs to feel like it's supposed to be there, but it's also kind of not supposed to be there at the same time. There's like a reminder in my head, secrets and mysteries are revealed, not shown. It's not too intuitive. Like that feeling. Okay, cool. That's very good. So you're a fan of the novel? Indeed, I read the novel first, then I listened to the audiobook. Is there a Chinese audiobook? Because the only audiobook I know of in English is a hot garbage. Like, you listen to the audiobook while working. Being in those two mediums, it's completely different. Each has their own advantages. That's fair. I hope the animation can be thought of in the same way. Really good. Like, he's saying, like, hey, listen, there's like things we can't match in like reading the actual web novel itself, but hopefully we can make up for it in other aspects. That's really good. I want to satisfy the old audience. Oh, like he wants to make sure that the web novel readers feel like, you know, they're getting something. That's really good. That's important. Was there a particularly difficult scene? Every scene, every episode? Because they take the initiative to ask for it. And the slightly more difficult part is being told that's not what they meant. That part. Did you cry about this? It's not enough to cry, but it is depressing. The most impressive scene should be episode 7. When we combine 2 and... Wait, what? When we combine 2D and 3D in such a scene, each shot takes a lot of time, especially at the end when it's due in 2 or 3 days. I still had many things to do, yet then the bosses looked at me with a meaningful look. Cuttlefish just coming, seeing it, and saying, this is not right. Dude, can you imagine? Like, you spend like 10 hours the past 3 days working on a thing, and the guy comes by and goes, no, not it. You're like, what don't you like? I don't know. Doesn't feel right. Leave me alone. I'm gonna go die. After all, hold on. I couldn't even look him in the eye. What's the main difficulty of 3D, I think is what it's asking. It goes by really quick. For example, after a person enters the dark, there's lens glare. I did notice this. There was like a lens flare when the camera looked up at the sun. And I was like, that's a really interesting stylistic choice. Those things are all handmade. Happiest episode. I feel like every episode is fun, mainly because I'm happy making. There's a special kind of pleasure in creation. Get this person out of here. They're too bright. They're too bright. Everyone else in this office is dying. This person's like, yay, we're having such a great time. They're gonna steal this. We're gonna see this person in an episode for episode 2, or episode 2 for season 2, and they're gonna be like, everything's so hard. It sucks. It's nightmarish. Can you introduce us to your job? All the animation is based on our storyboards. We turn script into text into pictures. Oh, sorry, we turn script text into pictures. One is to tell stories. We put the story in a kind of picture composition, but in the animation it won't be limited to just one picture. There are many exciting scenes in the series. Do you have any special idea or designs for certain fight scenes? Good question. This time we've adopted a lot of 3D technology in terms of backgrounds. It won't be limited to 2D static images. That looks crazy. Am I like that looks crazy. Like, it's CGI, it's all good, I get it, no problem. Like, I'm not as opposed to CGI as other people are. I get why people say no to it, but like, I don't mind it. Won't be limited to static images. We consider it more of the harmony between picture and plot. That looks so good, right? In fact, the most difficult thing to adapt is literary drama. That also makes sense. For example, in the episode after Sacrifice. Is this Old Neil? Is this Dunn's? No, but there wouldn't be an episode after Dunn's Sacrifice. I don't assume that'd probably be the last episode. What's Sacrifice? He needs to get out of a grave. Oh, after the Megos fight. Okay. To climb out of that place. Okay. If you're using flat narrative words, there's nothing to see. So the scene is designed based on lighting, not lightning, good lord. And the light shines on the grave. But after they climb out, they praise the goddess? Who do they praise? Who do they praise? At that time, it feels like they've retreated into the shadow. Something for us to implement later for shadowing for season 2 or 3. Do they praise, who does Klein praise? Does he praise Azek for the copper whistle? Does he praise the gray fog? What does he praise? When doing storyboards, what design philosophy did you incorporate? Although it looks like something to Western fantasy, its underlying is still in Chinese. For example, the blank space in some shots. I'm saying the shots aren't full. What I'm saying on Chinese aesthetic. Oh, at Dunn's tombstone. Oh, I see. Giving people space for reverie. What's your favorite part of the animation? So basically, what she said in the last part, my interpretation of that is Chinese animation is a little bit quieter, whereas like Western animation or even Japanese animation, I would assume, is like more full. Like everything is like full. There's not much left for interpretation. Chinese animation is a little bit quieter. It's like, hey, like we'll give you your own space to fill in some stuff with your own imagination. We won't do everything for you. Like you can do some of that. Especially like the part where Old Neil plays the piano in the end, where his comrades die. I've conceived it many times, but in a short section, that melody. When did Old Neil play the piano? What? Why don't I remember this? Expect the viewer to have a brain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, hey, listen, I expect you to be able to do some shit, okay? I had someone else act it out for me. Is this the voice actor? Or no, this is not. No, he wouldn't be sitting at a desk. Who is this? To perform it as an actor. The most difficult thing for us to do is act. To do a performance, an emotional performance, a physical performance. The worst thing to happen when he was losing control, something was playing. Oh, I see. Okay. The worst thing to happen is that I perform it only once. Act it out in pain. Come on, teacher. Let's act it out. What's your main job position? This is such a Eastern or like Asian or like a Chinese thing, because like here it would just be like, here's the director of whatever. No, here's like, hey, what's your job title? Basically, after the storyboard is finished, we create a design following the storyboard's intention. It's like actors putting on different characters according to the instructions and requirements of the storyboard. making it make sense. Were there any moments in the creative process, where you felt particularly frustrated? The most frustrating might be, how can I say this? To draw it better. The heart on the way. Oh, Romero, your kid. Done. Shit. And someone else acted out for me to present it better. What was the most difficult in creating such a grand scene as the one above the Grey Fog? What is the most difficult in creating such a grand scene as the one above the Grey Fog? Done or Kenley, true. Acting, it's an emotional performance. How do we create that atmosphere? The emotions can be better reflected by their action and body language, especially in some scenes, body fights and all that. How do you solve difficult problems? When they draw, it's a difficult process, so that's when I'll help them. According to the requirements of the storyboard, I'll act it out for them. Suppose they need to draw a dynamic perspective. Have you watched the new vid? The new vid for what, Thunder? Probably not, though. And to be cautious. He draws up his gun. He's moving into a defensive position. Performance. Just give him a show. Come on, let's act it out, teacher. Cute. Cute. Alright, that was really, really cool. It's nice to see all of them are like actually so like reverently, putting in the work. Whether some of them are like really happy about it, some of them are like, fuck, it's a lot of work. But like they all seem like, okay, like, hey, like we need to do a good job. That's really important. Okay. Alright, let's try. They're so goofy too. True. But with how much work they do, I feel like they deserve it. Alright, on that great note, let's start reading. Oh god. We haven't read in almost 24 hours. This is the longest break I've taken in a while. Why the hell my comment keep getting deleted? Oh, hold on, Thunder, hold on. I don't see your comment, dude. Interesting. It's on live chat, so it shouldn't be that it's not. 767. Great. Okay. Passing a message. Ooh, to who? I sent a link on Discord. Oh, okay. Give me a second, Thunder. Let me just look. It's on Facebook? Oh, I don't have Facebook. Oh, whoa, this was 8 minutes ago. What? Oh, this is a new... Whoa, it's like 8 minutes ago. Fuck, okay. Hold on. Is there something else? Okay, let's check this out. 2 minutes? Alright, let's check out what I hope is another trailer. I don't believe this would be translated, but it is on Facebook, so maybe. Oh, it is. We're cooking. Wait, why can't I hear it? What? Why is there no audio? Oh, okay. Anyone who becomes a Nighthawk risks losing control. This is most... Oh, here it is. Do you want to join us? Bro, why can't I hear? Why is it like this? If I become full screen, the audio goes away. This is so garbage. God, this is why Facebook is dying. You're kidding. I'm out of my fucking mind. This is why Facebook is dying. Like, as soon as I click the... Oh, thank God. Okay, let's go. Anyone who becomes a Beyonder risks losing control. Do you want to join us? Become a Beyonder? Okay, that was not what he asked him. He asked him if he wanted to be a Nighthawk, because he was just gonna be a civilian at the start. Who is this? What? True creator! The house across the street from the kidnapping has clues to the indigenous family notebook. Looks like this is no mere kidnapping. It's finally a bit of fun. Ma'am Daly looks so good, dude. Ma'am Daly looks so good. Likes corpses. If you kill him, you'll be saving more people. There'll be a graveyard for all of them. My god, this looks so good. For us, as long as we don't die out of control, is a blessing from the god. Oh, Neil. Ornasis, why do you keep pestering me? Is this the lure of some evil god? Azek, who's behind this? We are the Guardians. Just a bunch of hits. Man, they changed the line. They changed the line. That looks so good. This looks amazing. I'm begging you, don't hurt anyone. Captain. Fuck. Oh god, they even show old Neil losing control. They hint at Dunn dying. This is so much to show. Bro, audio, please just stay with me. That Beyonder risks losing control. Do you want to join us? Become a Beyonder? Like, these pathways look so good. Pathways pointing to the red moon. Maybe these are like the Evernight pathways, but that's only 3, right? Evernight, Sleepless, one more that's interchangeable. I can't remember which one. Sorry, there are 4. I don't know what this is pointing to. Fuck's sakes, piece of garbage. Aldership. This is actually fucking Facebook. You're so garbage. Who is this? The true creator. Ramiro's so happy, bro. Ramiro's so happy. Oh, the pathway option that he has to choose at the beginning? Wait, but he wouldn't have 4 choices, right? Well, probably a demoness. Yeah, but who is that? I'm so curious. Because he had Seer, he had Sleepless, he had Corpse Collector. Was there a 4th one that he had? Someone who knows more, let me know. Just guessing. New trailer? Yes, sir. New trailer. It's on Facebook, though, which is garbage because Facebook, a house, has a clue to the indigenous family notebook. This is his, like, I think he had that in a dream. Was that right? Like, he had a spiritual intuition in, like, a dream the night after the kidnapping or something? That's good. That's, like, really good. Oh, Mystery Prior. That would be for Arthur. You're right. Right. Yes. I think it's Sharon because in the novel she was naked. Oh, true, Roy. True. That looks good. That looks really good. Like, Leonard is, like, casually running through gunfire because these are, like, mere amateurs. And he's just like, bitch, get the fuck out my way. A bit of fun. Our dear poet. A corpse. Like, this is Madame Daly, I think. I'm almost certain. If you kill him, you'll be saving more people. There'll be a graveyard for all of you. Like, look, like, this looks so menacing, right? Am I crazy? For us, as long as we don't die out of control, it is a blessing from the god. And that's probably said after the Berserker fight with old Neil, Klein. Maybe Leonard's there now is what we're guessing right now. Didn't that shot appear in Roselle's trailer when it started showing the content? Maybe I'm not a robot. I don't know, maybe. Why do you keep pestering me? Nah, dog, this is the lure of who's behind all this. Oh, he's talking about the ravings. Even I don't know what the fuck's about that. What's that about, Klein? Let alone you in Volume 1. We are the Guardians. Who is this? This might be Sharon. Or this might be Trissy as well, I guess. I just hope it's not too... Whoa, that's... This is Megos. This is Megos. This is Megos for sure. I don't know what her description looks like. I don't know what she looks like. I couldn't tell you. But I know this is Megos. Let me go. I'm begging you. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad, dude. This is so sad. Fuck, that's so sad. Everyone will die. Dan's heart. The scene is less blood and horrifying than I thought. I think they changed it a little bit, Thunder. I think what originally happened was they walked through the door and in the main living room was old Neil just, you know, all fucked up with the eyes and stuff. But this time, I think they put him behind a door. So if we come back here, we see like that door. So I think like one person, like maybe Dan or someone will enter in there and they'll see old Neil in that weird, really fucked up state. But everyone else will be standing outside in the main foyer out here where they won't see as much. Like they'll see blood and stuff, but not as much. So I don't know if they just made it less bloody and horrifying. Maybe they censored it like Roy said, that's possible. Or maybe they just changed the scene a little bit so that it's instead of it as soon as you enter, you see old Neil like that. It's like once you enter, you hear him in another room. You go there through all the hair or whatever the fuck this is supposed to, like, you see that thing that's like blocking the doorway? That's not a fucking door. I don't know what that is. It looks like disgusting hair. So like maybe that's it. I don't know. My god, that looks horrifying though. Captain. Oh, this is so sad. Wes, how's it going, man? Oh, that's so sad. I can't wait to join the Nighthawks. Is this another one? This was 1 day ago. Is this another one? Does anyone know? Mikhail, how's it going? Oh no, this is just okay. Never mind. This is just a personal. Wait, no, it is by Lord of the Mysteries. Interesting. Oh. They can't. I know they're giving away so much, bro. They have to stop. I mean, it's only 2 days from now. 48 hours, baby. Let's go. All right, that's it. I'm gonna stop that for the video watchers. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Holy crap baskets, that was crazy. What did you just watch? There was a new promotional video, kind of like a trailer that came out, Wes. If you're interested in checking, if like watching the reaction or stuff, just rewind like about 10 minutes ago, I think is when we started. Gonna see the whole season before episode 1 comes out. Stop. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Y'all are stressing too much. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna get the reaction uploaded and then we will go. All right, rewind time. Got to see those reactions. Hell yeah. All right, I'm just going to get it uploaded. Fine, I'm going to watch it. All right, sounds good, guys. Okay, give me just 2 minutes. I'm just going to get that uploaded, and then we can start reading. Okay, we have to start reading. Ooh, on that note, oh, I'm so curious. We have so much going on now. We have so much going on. Man, 2 more days. Holy fuck. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna tell my descendant about these days. Grandpa, tell us what it was like during the original airing of Lord of the Mysteries. Let me tell you a story, boy. The story of the fool. Whew. Chills. Literal chills. And the true creator. I hope the translations are better. I know, that's like my biggest thing too. I really hope the translations are different, because they're not what they're supposed to be, which is depressing. Like the whole, like we are a bunch of miserable wretches and that sort of, like that line is so iconic to me, dude. I feel like you need to keep that word for word. But also, I do understand that there's constraints. There's, like, you know, especially when you're dubbing into, like, English and stuff. Like, what do you do? I get it. But all the same, no compromises. We don't give a fuck. Same, yeah. Finished volume 4? Holy shit, Wes. That's awesome, man. How'd you like it? How'd you like it? Peak? Good shit. Good shit. My man. My man. Okay. When does volume 4 end? Someone give me, what's the number? Second half was great. I don't even mind the first half. I like this. You know, this whole, we're just vibing, you know? I won't hurt anyone. I know. You want it? Yeah, sure, please. Yeah, the numbers I don't mind. I don't count those spoilers, dude. I don't care. 940? Jesus Christ. Okay. Seriously, by the way, I can't remember who sent that from 946 exactly. Okay, thank you. Anyone who I can't remember, whoever sent that the thing from Facebook. Seriously, dude, thank you. Fucking go. All the previous trailers were practically spoiler free, and then there's this one that even gives. I know, it gives away so much. Old Neil, done. Read the volume 3 author notes. Oh yes, remember, I need to do that too. Fuck, we have so much. Did you hear about the first episode starting with the Megas fight? What? And then it like cuts back to the past or some bullshit? What? I think like small flash forward? Oh, fuck me. No, I did not hear about that. That's a crazy... Did he not already read the author's notes? Apparently there's a different set of author's notes. A correctly translated version, I think. By the way, how do you spell Megos? Is it with 2 S's or is it with 1? I don't actually remember. Is this how you spell this? Migos. Oh, it is. Okay, thank God. Whew. Got it, baby. Oh, that's a good point. Does it have the volume 4 name? Then I'm definitely reading that right now. Okay, I promise. I'm just... Last thing I'm doing, Wes, and then we're reading the volume 4 author notes, okay? Or volume 3 author notes. It's censored with a spoiler tag? No, I want to know it. No, bullshit. I know all the other ones. I know all the other ones. I'm reading this one too. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. You have to try and guess it first. Okay. Okay. Now let's check that out. Nope, wrong one. Now we switch here, dummy. Yes. Okay. Okay. The third volume is titled The Traveler, and that is why, as mentioned in the past, I envisioned this volume to have a lighter, more relaxed tone with a simple structure. Just someone journeying, stopping here and there, encountering different people and landscapes. I like to think so, Wes. It's definitely amazing for my channel, but yeah. The third volume is titled Traveler, and that is why, as people mentioned in the past, I envisioned this volume to have a lighter, more relaxed, simple structure, just someone journeying here and there, encountering different landscapes, meeting people, and completing certain tasks or objectives without delving too deeply or getting bogged down by a web of events. To be honest, writing this travelogue style narrative was quite challenging. Just when I'd fleshed out the character, grown familiar with the setting or place, and established a sense of cultural contrast, I'd have to move on. That's actually true too. That's gotta be so hard for the fucking author now that he mentions that. Like, fuck. Like, you make a thing, you're just starting to get comfortable, and you're like, I'm comfortable, move on. Ugh, kill me. Looking back, I think I handled it well up until Klein's advancement to Sequence 5. After that, things got hectic. I had too many threads to tie up. And since much of it involved revisiting familiar places, I had to condense the narrative, which made some parts feel rushed. That is a feeling I got right at the end. That feels fair. Many readers assume I work with extremely detailed outlines, but that's not the case. What I do is plan meticulously. Are all kinds of settings. My outline is not a timeline of events. It is a combination of the overarching themes of a volume. Oh, wow. So he doesn't have like a really detailed script or anything. No. He has like rough overarching outlines, and he's like, let's see what we can do now. That's crazy. To make something of this quality with just overarching themes is insanity. Which plot threads to carry from previous volumes, and what foreshadowing to plant with this current volume, and which mysteries to unravel or spread breadcrumbs. Bro writes gold. Bro is actually just shitting gold. It's crazy. Beyond that, I improvise. That isn't, dude. To improvise with a fucking book this detailed is insane. I only started planning the next volume story after finishing the previous volume. That's insane. Trying to plan every single plot line across hundreds of thousands of words would not only be a waste of time, but also rigid. Because no idea is concrete, you truly can't gauge how a plot will play out or where it will lead to when you actually start reading the chapters. I mean, true that it's rigid, but it gives you a structure. My man is like, nah, I'd win. What is happening? You can't truly gauge how a plot will play out or it will lead you until you actually start writing it. Plus, new ideas often strike mid-writing, which might completely ruin everything you've just planned. For example, remember how I wrote the scene of Klein leaving Backland at the end of this volume? I did not come up with the image of his return amidst the undercurrents of tensions for this book's finale, along with the thematic punchline. Until that very chapter, He made Klein leave Backland on the fly? What? His brother and sister making an appearance was also a decision that came to me while writing. I did not plan for them to show up. The idea came to me and I decided to use it on the spot. This man is an animal. Lock him up. Study his brain. What do you mean? That was off the cuff? While outlining the volume, I marked where the book world would come into play, but beyond the ending, I left the specifics open. Later, while writing the release of the Nightmare Beyond Her characteristic at the church, inspiration struck. Mastered random bullshit. Ah, but the random bullshit is a masterpiece. Huzzah! Like, what? While outlining the volume, I marked where the book world would come into play, but beyond the ending, I left the specifics open. Later, while writing the release of the Nightmare Beyond Her characteristic at the church, inspiration struck. Having Klein relay a message to his daughter before visiting the church was actually written after I finished visiting the church part, giving the theme every journey has a destination meaning. Lastly, during the process of writing about Grozel's travel, as I introduced its characters, like the lone soldier, the idea of homesickness and returning home suddenly clicked. All these pieces combined made the third volume conclusion very crystal clear. He actually just made that up. He's the definition of source. I fucking made it up. Dude, I would have thought that, like, lone soldier talking about, like, I haven't been home in 165 years or whatever. I would have thought that was so meticulously planned out. Third volume is I get the feeling that it's not like that he doesn't have outlines, he just has high standards and doesn't consider them outlines. Oh, that's actually a really good point, Robot. It was like when in high school my professors would be like, or my teachers would be like, hey, like, you need to give me a rough draft of the essay before you submit the final one, but I never made rough drafts. So I would make a final draft, then I would intentionally fuck things up and then send it, and then send that, and then send the actual original final version. Which of the 7 Orthodox gods is the most interesting? Interesting. Maybe because it's the one we've spent the most time about, but I feel like Evernight is the most interesting. But I don't know, like, I understand that I also don't know much about the rest. The third volume is deliberately low-key, or you can say it's bland. In a sense, a stylistic choice is tied to its structure. As I'd warned before I even started writing Volume 3, readers expect a grand, explosive finale might be disappointed. Okay, that was me, fair. As I mentioned, the ending is meant to evoke a sense of simmering danger. In Zhongwill's appearance at the end of the volume, the Mother Tree of Desire's malice, and the Rose School ambush all tighten the tension, framing Klein's eventual return to Backlund. Two major challenges in this book were, writing in a travelogue format is inherently difficult, writing 2 dungeon dives, the God of Combat Runes and the Book World. Nah, nerds are not. Fans of my earlier web novels know my dungeon segments to be dry and rough, only the climaxes standing out. The Sage Who Transcended Samsara web novel, I improved by expanding dungeons into a full-fledged world with proper build-up and companion, but stand-alone segments like the true martial Tomb arc still suffered from being too dry, relying on suspense alone. Martial Arts Master, another web novel, barely had any dungeons, so there wasn't much to critique. Sherlock or Gehrman? Gehrman 100% of the time, Nares. 100%. Lord of the Mysteries, I spent a long time figuring out how to handle these 2 major dungeons. Drawing from my previous work, I prioritized suspense and companions, then later added entertainment value based on my experiences. But still, I feel something was missing. How long are these author notes? What the fuck? Then I recalled a conversation with my friend in real life where we realized our creative approaches differ. I start with a world and a story, then design characters. He begins with interesting characters and builds the world around their interactions. See, I would be much more of the latter. I feel like characters are what come to me more than the world. While I stick to my core method, I've gradually incorporated some of my friend's technique. So for Volume 3 Dungeons, I shifted from companions to memorable characters, letting their dynamics drive the story. This led to the God of Combat Ruins part in the volume. It's a writing experiment for me, and it worked. For the first time, my subscription numbers rose during a dungeon arc. Nearly 100,000 words of consistently engaging content. That's awesome. For the book world, I took a different approach. Since the first exploration would be brief, I couldn't delve into characters' backstories or emotions. This solution came from Volume 3's title, The Traveler. Let me explain. A traveler doesn't stay in one place. They don't have the time to know someone better. So I deliberately avoided exploring Grosel and Mobet's past or inner monologue while exploring the book world, presenting only their words and actions with cold objectivity. If you reread that section, you'll notice I never directly state Klein's feelings. I left it blank, because Klein is a traveler, a passerby who briefly crossed paths with the book world characters. That's like such a minute detail, but it's so clever. It's so clever. He's like, listen, they're just people on another journey, okay? Like, I can't think too deeply about them. The result, some readers found it forced and awkward. Others felt melancholy, while few speculated deeply, trying to reconstruct the untold stories of the characters. But that was what I wanted. After all, each human's sorrows and joys are not the same, especially through a traveler or a passerby's eyes. Final thoughts on Volume 3. Characters and plot integrated well, but some sections could have been more fleshed out. Writing grows harder as the series progresses. I need time to recharge and outline. Also, my stomach has been acting up all week. I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Taking 2.5 days off. Resuming with writing Volume 4 at noon on Saturday. What the fuck? Sorry, hold on. Sorry. It just started raining really loudly, and it sounded like it was really fucking loud for a second. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, and to those who guessed the next volume's title in the comment section, you are correct. Interesting. Okay, so you guys said you wanted me to guess before I read it. Is that right? Wind Valley translation note. Cuttlefish revealed the title himself in the summary, but I spoiler tagged it. You can check the volume 4 title if you want. You know the sequence? Okay. Okay. Let me pull up my notes really quickly. Okay. So just really quickly, we're going to do some basic analysis, okay? So Volume 1, Klein was first a seer, but it was called Clown. So it was 1 level up. Volume 2, he was a magician, but it was called Faceless. 1 level up again. Volume 3, he started as Faceless, but it was called Traveler, which is a sequence 5. So now we're looking at a sequence 4. Don't go with what you think it is. Instead, do what you want it to be. Oh. Okay, what sequence 4 would I want it to be? That's a good question. What sequence 4 would I want it to be? Bizarre Sorcerer? Nah. And plus, 2 of them were already Klein's, so it seems silly. And 1 wasn't, so I'm going to assume this one isn't Klein's either. Night Watcher. Maybe this is where we get to... Maybe in this volume we get to kill in Zhongguo, and it's called Night Watcher. But that would seem silly. Read all the titles and say which one makes you most excited. If we get to kill In Zhongguo in this one, and it's called Night Watcher, we go with that one. If not, Mysticologist, garbage. Ezek stayed at Undying for a long time. I don't know. I don't even know what sequence 5 of this is. It's probably 4, but I don't know. Cataclysmic Interror. Sound like garbage. Weak bitch. Manipulator would be cool. I could live with Manipulator. I feel like that would be really good. Alchemist? No. Secret Sorcerer? Maybe. We had 2 Seer Pathway ones. Now maybe we have 2 Apprentice ones. Parasite would actually be really cool. Okay, final answer. Parasite or Night Watcher. If we get to kill In Zhongguo, then we go with Night Watcher, because fuck that guy, okay? Those are the 2 options. What is it? Fuck. It's Ezek's Pathway. Come on. Fuck. Okay. Alright, well I guess that confirms sequence 4. Alright, let me just write it down really quickly. I guess we know it's sequence 4 now. Yeah, that's what I have here. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking to robot. I see. Okay. Death console. Wait, what makes you think it's sequence 4? They're going in sequence, Romero. Like, I've already talked about this. Yeah, I'm gonna read right after this. Fuck me, an hour after. Right? So, we started with Clown, then we went to Faceless, because he did Magician in the volume, so no problem. So he went one level up. Then it went to Marionette, then it went to Traveler, another level up. Now it's gonna go to sequence 4, I would assume, which is Undying. Yes, okay. Alright, we're gonna start reading in literally 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get... You were assuming there's a pattern? Yes, I am. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab my my blanket. It's really cold in the room. My feet are freezing. Oh, okay. We're good. Yes, I always assume there's a pattern, Wes. My brain runs on patterns, okay? If there's no patterns, if it's just randomized, we're fucked. My brain runs on patterns. 767. Passing a message. Robot gives off Charizard vibes? Nah, I don't think so. Grim, who got infected on the Nameless Island, was undeniably deceased. Appearing once again on the Nameless Island. Emperor, when did you start writing horror stories? Also, where's the rest? Klein's gaze froze on the last line of the 3rd page. He discovered there was no new information. Oh, it is... Wait, it is Dr. Z? What? Okay, you had me that time. I did not. I did not guess that. Generally, I'm pretty good, but I did not guess that at all. Wow. I thought it was obvious. No, I didn't know it was Dr. Z. It is not even a new account, is it not? Shit. Okay. Apart from that, he was similarly alarmed by Roselle's description of Beyonder creatures' strange gathering and their worship of unknown entity. One had to understand that not all Beyonder characteristics had intelligence and could be communicated with. Many of them were monsters who had lost their control or had madness as an innate property. And these monsters had lost control were gathered together. And these monsters that had lost control were gathered together, worshipping some unknown existence. Unfortunately, the Emperor didn't leave behind the name of the name or the coordinates. Wait. Unfortunately, the Emperor didn't leave behind the coordinates of the Nameless Island. However, even if I did have it, I wouldn't dare to head over. Even if I were to die and be revived on the island, that would be troublesome too. I'll at least need to be sequence 4 or even 3 before I have to consider what it takes to explore. As Klein thought, he made the diary vanish and looked at Catley and said, "What's your request?" "Mr. Fool, I wish to know if Roselle once participated in a very secretive and ancient organization." Alder recalled the corresponding matter and remembered that in Miss Justice's description of the Desire Apostle case in Backland, there was a mysterious organization mentioned. Back then, Mr. Fool had told its members not to say the organization's name in the outside world, because any mention of it would be known. Finding out the chatters Dr. Z is becoming Who's That Pokemon? Actually true, Burnt. For such an organization doesn't match Emperor Roselle's status, Alder nodded. As for Klein, he thought of something else. Queen Mystic's choice of diary pages are vague. She isn't able to accurately ask questions based on the contents. It also means that she roughly knows that the diary pages from certain periods are important with key information on them. Or is she able to discern Roselle's emotions from when it was written? Oh, maybe. As for the hermit's question, it didn't pose any problem for Klein. He smiled and said, yes. After saying that, he added with a smile, it's your turn. He didn't directly mention the Twilight Hermit Order, wishing that he could answer another question based on the topic in the future. Cattleya bowed in gratitude and looked towards the magician. I wish to obtain clues regarding direct descendants of the Abraham family. 1,000 pounds. Why did you look directly at me? She knows that my teacher is from the Abraham family? Forrest was alarmed, but soon realized it was nothing surprising. This was because this matter wasn't a secret to other members of the Tarot Club, apart from the hermit, so it was normal for them to mention it. Although 1,000 pounds was attractive, Forrest didn't plan on selling information on her teacher. All her life, there were only a handful of people who were sincere to her, so she cherished such relationships. After some deliberation, she asked, why are you looking for them? If you can provide a reason, I can pass the message. As for any further developments, it will depend on them. I'm searching for the direct descendants of the Abraham family in the hopes of obtaining information on Mr. Dorr. Pass this message to them and see if there's a chance of cooperation. Just for passing the message, I'll give you 350 pounds. If they're willing to take up the matter, I'll pay you another 650. Deal. After saying that, she came to a realization behind Ma'am Hermit's words. Mr. Dorr is related to the Abraham family. That's right. We know we even have like a suspect on who Mr. Dorr might be, right? The Abraham family ancestor from the War of the Four Emperors or something? What was his name? Oh, Bethel Abraham. I can only casually mention it in my letters that someone was searching for direct descendants of the Abraham family at a gathering, and that it has something to do with Mr. Dorr. I wonder what kind of reaction the teacher will have. At this point, Miss Justice was happy for her friend, sensing that her friend had escaped the predicament of being broke. She said, oh my god, you got over your condition? Forrest is like, condition? What do you mean? Oh, weren't you a broke bitch, bro? Forrest is already sequence 7. She's almost caught up to me. I have to become a hypnotist soon. As she had such thoughts, she glanced at the Tarot Club members, wishing that they had clues to the fruit of the illusory chime tree. Miss Justice's gaze makes it really hard to say no. Forrest lowered her head in embarrassment. This was because she had yet to obtain any clues of an illusory chime tree. Not even 1,000 pounds, though? Wait, do we know that Bethel Abraham is for sure Mr. Dorr? Do we know this? Sitting across from Audrey was Alger. He thought for 2 seconds and said, I have clues, but it will take 2 weeks before I can obtain it. Oh, shit. Wait, we know for sure? Pretty much? Oh, cool. Okay. He did have clues. A long time ago, he had discovered an illusory chime tree when he entered the primitive island with the Rear Admiral, but due to his lacking strength, he didn't dare approach it. But now, he had the chance of advancing to Sequence 5. He naturally didn't want to give up opportunities for making money. After all, he still owed Cattleya for the information of the obelisks. As for why he was mentioning it now, in a sense, it was to declare his right. When the time came, he and the world would explore together. It was best to make the decision. It was best to decide the splitting of the spoils ahead of time. Of course, when dealing with the illusory chime tree, it was likely that Gehrman would idly stand by without rendering any existence. No problem. Audrey was delighted. Wait, does that mean Klein and Alger are gonna go to this island in like 2 weeks' time? We also know Mr. Dorr is Sequence 1. Is that in my notes? I feel like I don't know this, but okay, hold on. I'll just put this in the Abraham family really quickly. So Mr. Door equals Bethel Abraham equals sequence 1. Okay, cool. Do I? Take your word for it. No problem. Audrey was delighted. She didn't even ask for a price. She was already beginning to consider finding an excuse or reason to buy it from the psychology alchemists after returning to Backland in June. With the 2 transactions coming to an end, due to none of the other members having any requests for the time being, Cattleya repeated her search for the blood of a mystical creature. Emlyn once again mentioned that he was searching for the remaining 4 believers of the primordial moon. Then the tarot gathering entered the free exchange segment. What? Klein didn't have anything? Bro. Derek very naturally said, I've already become a notary. You don't have to tell us that. Alger had the urge to faceplant, but he replied in a calm tone. Although a notary will receive a massive boost in one's physical attributes, it's still more of a support role. If the notarization of a power is valid, you'll be temporarily enhanced. If the notarization is invalid, the Beyonder power will forcibly be dispersed. At the same time, a notary is good at creating contracts. Once a signature is provided as confirmation, even a sequence 5 cannot violate it. Even if a demigod of a sequence 4 was to violate the contract, they will pay quite a price. Cool. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This whole bullshit about the bard being a support role is crazy to me. A bard is based as fuck. You can just go pillar of light, pillar of light, pillar of light, and just fucking burn everything to ash, and it's like support role. That's insane. Thank you, Mr. Hanged Man, Derek thanked. Deep down, in the entire Tarot Club, he felt that the greatest and most respectable person was the Fool, and the most impressive person to strive as a role model was the World, and the most reliable and kind person was none other than the wise Hanged Man. That is such a crazy fucking interpretation. Towards this, Emlyn thought, this fellow is caught up to me. No, I can't be surpassed by him. I need to complete the hunting soon as possible. He contemplated for a second, and after receiving the world's permission, he conjured the thin moon puppet that resembled a wooden pole. Ladies and gentlemen, does anyone know what it is? Cattleya carefully observed it before frowning. It's likely a moon envoy. A Beyonder item that the primordial moon believers create by using a bloody ritual that spans centuries. It is said to be imbued with divine powers. Each one of them possesses unimaginable horror. Where did you obtain it? It's very dangerous. It's best that you hand it over to the upper echelons of the Sanguine. Emlyn changed his posture and chuckled. Should I put this in my notes? Is this important? Yeah? Okay. Although that notary power is kind of based, that, yeah, that's where I was putting it. It is kind of based that a notary can even make a demigod pay quite a price. That is kind of crazy. Emlyn changed his posture and chuckled. I encountered it when hunting a primordial moon believer. She's dead, but I'm still alive. Cattleya was taken aback. How did you do it? Did the upper echelons at the Sanguine provide you with any assistance? Emlyn gaped, somewhat at a loss for words. Only then did he realize the topic wasn't suitable for longer discussion. He cleared his throat and said, I sought help from the fool. They're all saying Mr. Fool, but the fool just sounds better for me. Need a signature for that, so makes sense. Still, for a mere sequence sixer to make us demigod pay quite a price is still kind of nuts to me. Emlyn is actually intellectually challenged. It takes all of his brain power goes to just ensuring that no one ever says the word sanguine around him. Sought help from the fool? You can do that? Kelly was stunned. Having been punished and discovered that Mr. Fool's blessed Gearman was becoming more and more impressive, she no longer had any doubts in the fool's abilities. She knew that when Mr. Fool pulled her in through the use of the ancient item, allowing her to escape the pursuit of knowledge, she came to a realization he was in existence at least at the level of the hidden sage of Primordial Moon. However, for certain reasons, he couldn't interfere with the real world, making her suspect him to be an ancient god undergoing an awakening process. So you would discriminate against him in your church, Dr. Z? He's still a dumbass. The moon's words left her surprised that the fool was able to provide substantial help to the Tarot Club members, and wasn't just someone who could provide knowledge. On the other hand, it means that in times of danger I can pray to the fool for help. This is more ridiculous than any ritual. On the other hand, it reveals the fact that Mr. Fool's recovery process is faster than I imagined. Audrey and Derek and company weren't that surprised. They had more or less sought help from the fool in the past, and even witnessed the angel of his great existence. Seeing everyone's gaze fall on him, Emlyn shrank his neck. I paid a price. It was a fair and equal exchange. Fair and equal exchange? A mighty existence's immediate and effective response is priceless. Ketley couldn't help but retort. The fool's newest, strongest soldier, maybe? Bro. Nice hot streak in the Divination Club. Nice. She didn't directly say it because she wished to use the opportunity for such a fair and equal exchange in the future. Forrest was quite puzzled by the moon's deliberate emphasis on the principle of fair and equal exchange. Everyone who sought his help had made a corresponding payment. Mr. Fool sure is a man who cares about his reputation. No, a sanguine. I think he shouldn't have voting rights, but his pathway is the one that increases intelligence, so he still has hope. Wait, do you think you shouldn't have voting rights? So, in your world, you'd have a democracy, but like you'd have to do an IQ test before you got in the booth, and if you're under 100, it's like, nah, the full strongest soldier is Danitz. After the exchange came to an end, and the tarot gathering slowly ended. After returning to the City of Silver, Derek recalled the notary's strength and weaknesses mentioned by the Hanged Man. He then headed to the Twin Towers to select a mystical item. Yes, imagine how much better the world would be. I don't know if it would be that much better, Dr. Z. That's the truth of the matter. I think people think like smart people are somehow so much more immune than to having dumb ideas than like a dumb person, but it's just not true. They make the same stupid fucking decisions and stupid fucking choices. I don't know. He didn't do this before because his condition wasn't stable after advancing. He was worried that making contact with a mystical item might make him lose control. Inside the spire, Derek listened to the requirements after finishing the paperwork. He saw a filtered list of items and obtained the corresponding documents. After carefully reading and observing, he narrowed down to two choices. The first was Cardi's ring. It was ancient and simple in appearance, but it was completely iron black in color, engraved with dark and complicated patterns, left behind by a resident of the City of Silver a long time ago. It could aid the wearer in a wing, a target, in awing. What is AWI awing? What is this word? Oh, it is awing. Okay. In awing a target, causing them to stop. It could also make ordinary humans temporarily lose their reason. Or it could awaken their hidden emotions or memories of a crazy monster, allowing them to enter a brief period of confusion where they wouldn't deliver any attacks. The other was Thunder God's Roar. Just going off the names, I'm choosing that second one for sure. It was obtained from a city that was in the ruins. It was rather heavy and resembled a sledgehammer. It was dark blue in color with lightning swirling around it. Holding its handle felt like holding a leg bone of a creature. It could produce a sound that left the enemy in fear and chaos while in combat, as though a thunder god had descended upon the land as he kept roaring. Every strike brought about a potent destructiveness that with no lack of terrifying lightning. Your ice hammer but lightning? That sounds so peak, Ramiro. Bro, if I could get another ice hammer, I want it. I want a pickaxe with silk touch because I want to make more ice hammers. I just want to walk around with a backpack full of ice hammers, so as soon as they break, I just switch to a new one. Ice hammers are so cool. The negative effect of Cardi's ring was that the wearer would unconsciously produce another self. Therefore, one needed to periodically receive treatment from a psychoanalyst. If there were any missed treatments, it could result in the aggravation of the problem. Luvian, how's it going, man? No worries. We just started reading like 20 minutes ago. We were doing like reactions and stuff before that anyway, so you're good. Eventually, the two selves would enter a fight, ultimately losing to leading control. New Night Rain Everdark Sovereign? What did you just say? What is that, Wes? Is that a new boss? Schizophrenia, yes, dude. Arthur, true. Little by little, you're becoming 80 years old, and you're like, and in your mind is like, where am I? Like you're just fucked. In contrast, Thunder God's Roar didn't have that many latent risks. It would only make the user be a little irascible, bit by bit. As long as one periodically vented their emotions, there wouldn't be any problem. However, it also had another side effect. In a completely dark environment, the chances of being attacked by terrifying monsters was 100%. In your mind, an anime fight going on while you're sleeping, yeah, like one side you use like Kamehameha, while the other side if you use like Rasengan, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, but it's a third and harder phase of one of the previous bosses. Oh, nice. Okay. The chances of being attacked is 100%. Upon seeing this number, Derek turned gloomy. This meant that many of the City of Silver residents had vanished because of this reason. They were the former owners of Thunder God Roar. Wait, hold on. They released a trailer an hour ago? Yes, they did, Luvian. Apparently on Facebook of all places, though, which is so fucked. One time I legit had a mission. I was on a mission with Gearman or something. Your dreams are so much cooler than mine. My dreams are like basic bitch ass. What should I choose? Another self is terrifying. Miss Justice mentioned that it's dissociative identity disorder. Thunder God's Roar not only has a power that affects the enemy's state, but also has a rather powerful offensive capability. My axe of Hurricane has been used too many times, so it would likely be damaged in the future. I can produce light by myself, so I don't have to worry about absolute darkness. It was on Weibo also? Oh, was it? Oh, okay, cool. Wow, and here I thought 19 was the limit. Wait, what? I have 5 or 6 accounts, but I'm not logged in them even once. I have Facebook, but only for Facebook Marketplace. I'm not sure if you guys have that wherever you guys are, everywhere you guys are. But like Facebook Marketplace is like a place to buy like and sell like used items and stuff. So like I use it for that because like you can get really good deals on there occasionally. He thought for a moment, then said, "I want Thunder God's Roar. Hell yeah, Derek." 160 Balkland Street. Klein walked out of his master bedroom and saw the butler waiting for him. Sir, there's a total of 3 invitations this week. There's afternoon tea on Wednesday, a literary salon on Friday, and a banquet on Saturday. They were sent from... Tell these friendly inviters that I'll be participating. All right, sir, Walter bowed. After another week of invitations, it'll be my turn to invite the neighbors for a banquet or a ball. After repeating this action, I'll enter their circles and be recommended by them to important figures or at even higher levels. I'll be able to enter different clubs. If everything goes well, I'll be able to figure out the rotation schedule of the keepers and find a chance to go behind Channis Gate. Klein reined in his thoughts as he instructed his valet to bring him his hat, coat, and cane. I'm very skeptical of Marketplace. It just depends on what you're buying, Justin, but like generally I've had pretty good luck. I can't find anything. What was the last thing? I mean, it's been a while since I bought anything, I'm not gonna lie to you. But like, I use it occasionally for stuff. According to his schedule, he was to head to the, no worries, Wes. See you back in a bit, buddy. According to his schedule, he was to head to the Royal Grand Theatre to see the most popular play, The Betrayer's Ring. This isn't solely for entertainment, it's to understand popular plays, music, and trending novels. Only then could he have a common topic of conversation at high society gatherings. We have a platform called Divar, which means the wall for that, and it's a really reliable place. Well, that's good. Being a popular gentleman must be tiring. Behind a 1-minute performance lies 10 years of work. Social gatherings such as these are exhausting. As Klein lampooned, he allowed Richardson to help him wear a coat before he sat in his high-end 4-wheeled carriage. He headed to the Royal Grand Theatre, where he watched The Betrayer's Ring. It's different from television and movies. The play's acting is more exaggerated and impactful. Yes, this is determined by the acting environment. I don't even know why I'm yawning. I'm not even sleepy. I took a nap today, so I feel good. The story isn't bad, but why does it feel familiar? Don't tell me that it's adapted from Emperor Rosel's works. These are likely famous play actors. The papers must have mentioned them. It said that they're popular, like the celebrities on Earth. Just as long as I participate in the gatherings of high society, I'll have a chance of meeting them. Sherwood Borough at the ticket booth of a large theater. Melissa, who had finally had her turn, pushed her notes and coins through the window and said, "The Betrayer's Ring, 2 tickets, 3 p.m. on Saturday." It's so good to see them actually, doing some stuff and being happy. I'm so happy. Are you excited for the possibility of Klein infiltrating Channis Gate and stealing the Indigenous family notebook? If Klein does steal it, what do you think he might see in the notebook? Dude, Roy, I can't even tell you how excited I am. Fucking heists? Bro, I love heists. Let's go. CIA, stop watching me. I'm not committing any. Probably. I'm so excited for that. As for what he might see, I feel like he might get the sequence 1 and 0 name, maybe. He might get like a couple of higher sequence formulas as well. That would be dope as fuck. If the Indigenous family notebook is somehow related to the seer pathway, maybe it'll help him get more ingredients a little bit faster too, Book Bandit Klein. We know. Oh no. Sorry, Romero. We know. Oh yes, we know 1. Sorry, you're right. Okay, might help us get 3 and 0. Sorry. And maybe help us get. No, I don't find it boring at all. I'm so excited. I love heists. Plus, I don't mind this slower stuff too, right? After watching The Betrayer's Ring, Klein sat in the carriage as he sipped a cup of black tea, received the evening papers. No, I don't find it boring at all. Like, I find this so cool because if you think about it, now we're seeing climb through all the stratas of we do, Dr. Z, but I don't actually know what our internal one is called. They're kind of fucking useless, so whatever. And plus, CIA is for external U.S. stuff anyway, right? The CIA operates everywhere that's not on U.S. soil, so they would operate in Canada, in everywhere else, not on the U.S. soil. Legally, technically speaking, there's been a few cases where they have operated on U.S. soil. But generally. But like if you think about it, we now get to see Klein through every strata of society. We saw him at the very start of the novel where they were poor. Not like poor, but like pretty fucking poor, you know? And then we moved up a little bit where they were like just teetering at the very bottom of middle class. Then we got to Sherlock Moriarty. Upper middle class, like okay, he was living well. Now we're here, we're like right below the nobles, we're richy rich. I do think that this part of volume 4 is boring to me even on rereads, but it does get better. He flipped through the play's critic column and found the comments from some professional critics. He compared it to his own reviews. Yes, at the very least, it's enough to fool these ladies and gentlemen. Klein finished his homework as he leisurely read the newspapers. The Backlund Bike Company's 10% shares have been sold. If further inquiries won't be entertained. It's done? It means Isengard got this money. Klein was delighted. Such a refreshing statement doesn't need an exclamation mark. Mr. Isengard is a potentially placed to details. He wouldn't give the paper free rein. He deliberately left an exclamation to pass a message. He's giving a warning? Klein realized something. The 10% shares which Isengard sold are obviously from Sherlock. With the former's character, he wouldn't sell it for no reason. In a certain sense, this means that Sherlock or his proxies have returned to Backlund. Money, 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 money! True. I'm gonna lie, I enjoyed Klein pretending to be rich. I know. Therefore, one of the factions of the royal family that was involved in the Great Smog of Backlund acutely noticed this and has been monitoring Isengard, hoping to capture the person who heads over to claim the cash. How do I get the money? Klein seemed to naturally read the newspapers as he began considering the pertinent question. Music too high? Oh, is it? I think it was probably just for that moment, Romero, but I'll tone it down a little bit. 769. Hell yeah. Okay, given how long we spent on reactions and stuff, we probably won't read all the way to 775, but we'll keep reading till I feel like I'm tired. Time for a little money laundry. Oh, money laundering. That's when you wash your money in your pants because you forget they're in your rear pants and you toss it in the washing machine, right, Arthur? But even this leaves a bad taste. Audrey, the richest of the rich, is the one who got the shares, and she's gonna get even richer with this. That leaves a bad taste to you? Really? I kid, of course. It was like I was watching a Atrioc video, and it was like I was watching an Atrioc video, and he was talking about how, like, you know, like the rich are getting richer and stuff. And one of the people in the chat goes, "I would sell myself into slavery for a lifetime if it meant that Jeff Bezos would just get one more penny." Dude, I died. That was so clever. That was so clever. Oh. 10 at night, Backlund was drizzling as a thin fog produced a blurry sense of beauty amidst the street lamps. Isengard's assistant, Bowen, surveyed the bottom level once before walking to the side of the oriel window and prepared to shut the final window. At that moment, a shadow scuttled in and landed on the protruding walls. It was a blue, short, furried stray cat. Bowen looked at the large pair of yellow eyes and couldn't help but chuckle. There's no food here. As the detective's work made him prone to revenge, this made him have many secrets to hide. Isengard's cook and servants were paid by the hour. There were a fixed number of hours a day, and they wouldn't prepare too much food. This made it difficult for there to be any leftovers. The blue-eyed cat opened its mouth, but didn't produce any mewing sound. I'm Sherlock Moriarty. I'm here to meet Isengard Stanton. Although Bowen was a Beyonder who was nurtured by the Church of the God and wisdom, he was a low-sequence Beyonder and his horizons were stilted. This was the first time he had encountered a speaking cat. He was dazed, but after a few seconds he came to his senses. He turned into a cat? No, controlled a cat? This is terrifying. He said in a suppressed voice, "Follow me." Oh, is this where all the Cat Klein jokes come from? Or what? Oh, does Klein use these powers in the future and then it becomes like a staple and that's where all the Cat Klein things come from? The cat immediately leapt up on the platform behind the oriel window as it agilely followed behind Bowen with its tail up. It followed him all the way to the second story and watched him knock on Isengard's door. "Is there something?" Isengard, who was dressed in pajamas, opened the door and asked. Bowen cautiously pointed at the crouched blue cat behind him. "Mr. Moriarty is here looking for you." Isengard looked down and allowed the blue cat to saunter into his bedroom. "Return to your room and get some sleep. Wake up as normal tomorrow. We still have a case waiting for us." After his assistant left, he closed the door and looked at the blue cat and chuckled. "I never expected you to have such powers. I was worried you would directly come over." "I noticed your exclamation mark," the cat said with a smile. Isengard didn't react abnormally, as he just said with a smile, "I trust your intelligence." "Thank you for your compliment," the cat said politely. "You should have understood what is happening. Those people don't dare to monitor me too strictly, afraid that I would discover them and end up telling the Church of the Evernight in steam." "I sprained my ankle?" "Ah, fuck, that is the worst, Wes. So even though it will be quite troublesome for them if they get exposed, I believe that they have a demigod among them. This is a deduction based on certain feedback. After all, I've lived on the street for years." It should be fine, Wes. Just get an ice pack or something, wrap it around, and I think keep it elevated. I think. As an order, it was like go to sleep or dream. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. "Therefore, humans and animals wouldn't be stopped from entering my house. I believe you've already figured that out. But when leaving, you'll definitely be tailed and tracked. Do you have any means of evading their tracking? The sum of money isn't small. Bringing it out would be quite conspicuous." "I think I'll be chill. Got work in the morning?" "Okay. Let me think. You were planning on conferring with me to bring a deposit of the money to a bank and then you'll have people withdraw it? That is the best solution I can think of, but carrying it out would be troublesome." The cat didn't reply as it said, "I only need you to lend me an empty room and 3 candles." "No problem." The shares were sold for £12,000. The buyer is the daughter of Earl Hall, Audrey. Well, the hiring of lawyers and accountants, as well as the publishing of the advertisements, cost £600, and there was 0.5% stamp duty, 20% D-type taxes, so at the end of the day, you only get £8,940. More than $2,000 in taxes? Klein was formerly a Nighthawk, and his salary was tax-free. Later, as a private detective, his income was difficult to be monitored, so he never declared his income. Bro, he's a tax dodger? Bro, and Cuttlefish was allowed to live? I feel like you write this in China and they're like straight to jail immediately. How dare you not talk about what a civic duty it is to pay your taxes? I'm being facetious, just a little bit. Later, he became an adventurer, and since the bounties targeted at pirates enjoyed concessions, there was no need for him to pay taxes. Hence, he never realized that tax was something he needed to pay. Therefore, back when Isengard mentioned taxes, he hadn't taken it to heart, believing it wouldn't be much, but this gave him a heavy beating. My previous job was tax-free. Bro, we don't have any jobs that are tax-free. What the fuck? Like, you could work for the military, you could work for the cop, like, no matter who, your shit's getting taxed. After a brief silence, the cat said, "Alright, give me the cash, move it to an empty room. There's no problem with the money, right? I've already checked. They wouldn't do such cheap tricks. It would be an insult to my intelligence." Isengard stood up. "Remember to send me a signed letter of confirmation by mail later." "It's already on the way," the cat replied. Being the president? Even that's not tax-free. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you get a whole bunch of other bullshit that you don't claim, but you still pay taxes. Isengard walked to the safe in the master bedroom, and using a passcode to open it, he took out stacks of cash and stuffed them into a different briefcase. Following that, he left the master bedroom with the briefcases and entered a guest room diagonally opposite. "Check it." Isengard placed the briefcases filled with cash on the ground and said to the cat. "I trust you," the cat said. Isengard nodded and pointed to the cabinet. There were candles inside. With that said, he left the door, held the doorknob and said, "I'm really curious how you would leave. I believe it would be a very exciting magic show." Isengard closed the door with a click, leaving the guest room silent and bleak. "I worked for the University Hospital Alliance. Technically I still do, but I've graduated as no longer tax-free." Damn. Nah, you gotta say, like, "Hey, listen, like, I'm still working here. Can we do something? Can I just take like one part-time course and be chillin' taxes wise? What's up? What can we do here, you know?" Alright, see ya, Burnt. At the cat's side, a figure dressed in a dark red coat and a triangular hat appeared. Senor Wraith. Wait, Wraith Senor. No, never mind. He found the candles and quickly set up a simple altar, skipping over many of the first steps. He quickly muttered in Elvish, "Blessed of the sea and spirit world, guardian of the Rorstad archipelago, ruler of the undersea creatures, the great Alcalvatua. I pray for you to take this offering. I pray for you to open the gates to your kingdom." The wind inside the wall of spirituality suddenly grew in intensity as Senor quickly sliced the back of his hand and threw out a drop of blood. As a Sequence 5 Wraith, everything on him was material that was rich in spirituality. The strong winds sucked up the blood, howling as it drilled into the candle flame that represented the sea god. The flame burgeoned, forming an illusory door. About 10 seconds later, the door let out a heavy creak as it opened. One by one, Senor lifted up the briefcases and threw them into the illusory door. When there was almost none left, the gold coin he stored in his body flew open and landed on the altar. The Wraith's figure then disappeared, projecting on the smooth side of the coin. The coin trembled as it flew up, hitched a ride on the briefcases ahead of it, and entered the illusory door of sacrifice. Okay, so he took the Wraith back too now. Why does the Wraith even need to go to the Grey Fog? Can't Klein just cancel the marionettist and just have it come back to him? At that moment, the blue, short-furred cat seemed to recover its senses. It looked around blankly as it meowed. After a while, Isengard opened the door and entered, finding all the briefcases gone. There were only 3 candles and a short-furred cat warily arcing its back at him. When he scrutinized the scene, a rental carriage slowly drove past on the fork on the other side of the road. At the same night, in a building inside the Sherwood Borough, Gio returned home and said to Forge, "Your letter has been mailed." Gio put down the towel and quipped, "There's news about Mr. X's gathering. It'll be at the same place on Friday night. If he cancels the marionette, he just becomes a..." Oh, wait. Oh, he was there in body. Oh, he was there in body. Sorry, I thought I thought he was in his spirit body form. Apology. I thought he was like in his wraith form. Never mind. Oh, he was there in his. I never even considered that. Okay. Great. I can tell Mr. World. I wonder how much I'll need to pay. Before she could ask about the details, Gio added, Mr. X also gave a mission that's said to have handsome rewards. It's to inform him of people around who have abnormal luck. People with abnormal luck? Is his brain working? Who would divulge things around them in such a gathering? It would make it easy for others to discover their identity. Who knows? Maybe he really is a lunatic. Gio didn't know anyone with abnormal luck, so she answered without much thought. Forrest carefully thought for a moment, but she failed to figure out the true intentions behind this mission. All she could do was throw it to the back of her mind. She planned on praying to the fool once Gio went to take a bath, passing the relevant information to Gehrman Sparrow. So he wants something to do with the not the Rose School of Thought, the Life School of Thought. Maybe he's looking for Will Ossepton? Unhinged, how's it going, man? How you doing? A child should act like a child. Will Ossepton? Bro, what is happening? Had a 4-hour civil political discussion. There are no civil political discussions. What the fuck is happening to my mouse? You are taking the fucking piss here. I just installed Skin Restore. Nice. Do I also need to install that then, Devil? Thank God, fucking kid. No, it's on the server. It's a plugin. Oh, I don't need to bother? Nice, okay. How does a fetus act? Torture their mother psychologically, mentally? I mean, there can be good kids, too. Good fetuses. Like, I think it depends on the person and the kid. I mean, I don't have too much experience, but yeah, they what the kick a lot. Mr. X is looking for people with abnormal luck. Klein ruminated over over Force's words. He recalled people who had abnormal luck around him. Anderson counts as one. Dr. Aaron as another. Both of them were affected by snakes of fate. Ouroboros. The Angel of Fate Ouroboros was one of the creators of Rose Redemption. This secret organization supports and believes the true creator. The Aurora Order is equivalent to the true creator's church. A series of circumstances surfaced in Klein's mind. The Angel of Fate Ouroboros' attempt in search of the Snake of Fate Will Ossepton. Even good for... not even considering the birth. I mean, is that the fetus? Jesus Christ, Devil, what the fuck? Jesus, no, you can remove that, but that's gonna be in the VOD forever, bro. I mean, is that the kid? Dr. Z, that's torturing them, or is that their own bodies? I mean, that's a fair question. Like, I mean, is it them that's doing the hormones? Under such, he is driving the members of the Aurora Order to help him find Will Ossepton. This implies that behind Mr. X, there's a king of angels in Backland. Under such circumstances, assassinating Mr. X will be equivalent to having a death wish. No wonder Mr. X doesn't care about the uniqueness of Backland. The official factions would at most imagine that he has a saint backing him. In the official dossier, the Aurora Order only has 5 saints. This way they would respond incorrectly. After Klein made a judgment, his first thought was to decline the magician's request. If it wasn't because sounding the alarm might affect Will Ossepton, while the Church of the Evernight clearly had records of Dr. Aaron Cersei's bad luck, Klein would have gotten the magician to report both the Angel of Fate Ouroboros and Mr. X to a church. He then calmed down for a few seconds and conjured the world, making him pray in the grey fog. I'll confirm the situation and give you a reply tomorrow. Hey there, yeah, I know that new trailer looked awesome, but man, that it gives a lot of shit away. What the fuck? He didn't directly reject the commission. He planned on first asking Will Ossepton. He then immediately returned to the real world, took out the extremely fragile paper crane from his wallet, and gently unfolded it. After thinking, he wrote, "The members of the Aurora Order searching for people with abnormal luck. I wonder if you know how to use the Worm of Time to create charms. Does your placenta blood count as mythical creature blood? If it does, I hope to obtain a drop. What price would I have to pay?" It does, but people who don't know the story will have no clue what's happening. True. And that's kind of what I've been saying too. Klein originally planned on asking Will Ossepton how he was able to maintain his rationality. After all, the church's information indicated that there was no public faith in the Snake of Fate. However, he ultimately curbed himself from doing that. Afraid that Will Ossepton in his infant state replied, "How did you conceive the notion that I'm rational?" That way, he had no idea if Will was joking or speaking the truth. Although there's no organization that believes in the Snake of Fate, there are certain areas that believe in the God of Luck. It's considered a traditional custom. Exactly, yeah. Perhaps they're an alternative identity of Will Ossepton or Ouroboros. I even think the captain and Dunn's pipe being on the ground also gives away a lot, but Klein mumbled silently and used the best of his clown abilities before managing to refold the paper crane. He then placed it underneath his pillow. After doing that, he calculated how much cash he had. I love how this is like all he does all the time. 17,046 pounds, 5 gold coins, 3 soline, 8 pence. This motherfucker has 17,000 pounds and he can't forget the 8 pence. Oh, he has an actual brokey personality, bro. This is insane. Get me away from this man. If I had assets like a manor, house, and company shares, having so many liquid assets would make me quite a tycoon. Of course, I'm still far from being a top tycoon. To reach them, one's overall assets need to be at least 1 million. He then drank a mouthful of water, got into bed, and covered himself with a light but warm blanket as he fell asleep. Suddenly, he snapped awake. He walked all the way to the pitch-black steeple in the middle of the plains, passing through the chaotic and abnormal layout before coming deep into the steeple. Like before, there was a circle of tarot cards, but there was no silvery lines written. Will didn't give a reply? Then why did he pull me into this dream? Amidst Klein's puzzlement, he saw a black baby pram roll out of the shadows. Dude, act like a kid. That is so good. Will is like, "I'm getting stronger. Let me show you the muscles on these baby arms, baby." That's so good. "Mr. Snake of Fate?" Klein asked. What makes you so sure it's a mister?" "Isn't that determined from your name? Don't mind such details." "Then, how may I address you?" "I haven't decided." Will Ossipton in a baby form tersely answered. As you know. Oh, you don't. Every time I start again, I try to make myself a little different so as to maintain a good mental state. A child should act like a child when they're a child. Klein's heart stirred when he heard that. Is this the monster pathway way to maintaining reasoning? Yes, every beginning washes away the madness. However, it still needs certain anchoring from faith. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to maintain my state as a sequence 1 for long. Compared to before, you're becoming more and more knowledgeable. Apart from anchoring oneself with faith, there's other ways to resist madness. However, restarting is clearly an ability of Will Ossipton. Other Beyonder pathways aren't able to emulate that. Will Ossipton has not decided on their gender. That's why Ouroboros has such a feminine appearance. Their gender changes. That's so clever, Dr. Z. Will has not decided. Oh, that is so clever. Honestly, I've never pictured Will's voice to be a child. He said a child should act like a child, so his voice would be like a child. I am being accurate, okay? Mr. Azek is constantly losing his memories and finding himself. Does it involve the same concept? Klein nodded as he made every second count by asking, I suspect Ouroboros is searching for you through the Aurora member orders. Will Ossipton scoffed. I've been playing hide and seek with him from the very beginning. He isn't good at such things. It's quite obvious that he doesn't have a childhood. Every time he restarts, he grows up beside the true creator. He lacks the psychological experience of different stages in life, causing him to be very crazy at times. Of course, he doesn't mind. I did inform Ricardo to use the die of probability in certain places and leave marks. This will mess up Ouroboros' judgment. He will soon leave Backland once again. This means that there's still a chance of assassinating Mr. X. Growing up with the true creator so peak. Oh, I guess I should probably put this I should put this in notes, but I don't know what to do with this. I'll put this with Kings of Angels, I guess. Will talking about King of Angels, he's bad at hide and seek. Well, I guess to him at this point, it is just a game of hide and seek, right? Because they've been doing it for so long and Ouroboros has never caught him. So he's kind of just chilling. He's like, he's dumb. We're doing good. Ramiro the Blasphemer. Oh my god, now that I think about it. A raw world record hide and seek, true. Oh my god, Ramiro, would you... Since we gave Milos the Lord Baelish title, should I give all the mods a title? Ramiro the Blasphemer, Lord Baelish, Devil the... I don't know, we're gonna have to find something for Devil. It's gonna have to be some crazy bullshit though. Do you know how to use the Worm of Time to create charms? You obtained a Worm of Time from Pallas Zoroast? How did you know? Klein was taken aback. Pallas Zoroast. Yes? Okay, nice. Okay. We'll think of something. Ramiro the Blasphemer. I think that one is kind of based. Pallas Zoroast. So I would assume that is the grandpa inside Leonard. Maybe it is the Gramps, maybe not. Nah, I think it's the Gramps. I'm almost certain it's the Gramps. How did you know? He wasn't surprised that Will had managed to mention the origins of the Worm of Time. After all, there weren't many demigods of the Marauder pathway who could create avatars, but why hadn't he assumed it was Amon? The latter could also leave behind a Worm of Time. Will Ossipton smiled. Pallas Zoroast isn't in a good condition, and he had to parasitize your former colleague. Ah, right. Your former colleague was investigating Sherlock Moriarty, and he had entered my home in the middle of the night. I sensed there was something problematic about him, and gave him a short period of bad luck, causing him to encounter other demigods in Backland. Only when he was in danger, Pallas Zoroast did take action. It would have been fine even if we didn't. It was only a prank. I would have given your former colleague sufficient good luck at the critical moment. Leonard is investigating Sherlock. The grandpa in his body is called Pallas Zoroast. Klein silently frowns. Huh. Wait, so the Snake of Luck is not like a... I was thinking it was like a bigger conceptual thing, but he can like do a much more minute thing too. Like he can give someone bad luck, and just as they're about to die, give them just enough good luck to survive. Oh, this is really some God does not play dice bullshit right here. What the fuck? Damn, some bad luck ended up meeting demigods. True. And I love for how he's so strong because he's a sequence 1, right? Like he's pacing distance away from being a god. To him, meeting demigods is like, it was a tiny prank. Will Ossipton continued, the creation of a Worm of Time charm isn't too difficult for you. You can pray to that uniqueness trait about you and use a compound of mercury and pure silver to create a medium to draw the corresponding symbols. It's not too difficult. Pray to the fool. That's right. The mysterious space above the Great Fog clearly has a form of attraction to the Marauder pathway. Klein was thrilled as he felt like he grasped something. At this moment, Will smiled. As for what the corresponding symbol is, I have no idea. What a huge reversal. When he noticed that Will Ossipton wasn't speaking any further, he smiled and said, There's another question about your placenta blood. Before he could finish his sentence, Will opened his mouth and let out a cry. Wah! He began wailing like a real infant. Can we just talk? God damn it. Klein froze. If he hadn't already confirmed it, he really would have suspected whether this identity before him was a Sequence 1, the president of the Life School of Thought. Will to ordinary demigods is like Audrey's dad to tycoons. Exactly, it's like, listen, I appreciate to other people that you might be something, but you're fucking garbage to me, you understand? Beat the child. Sorry, that was... Okay, that caught me off guard. Alright. I just wanted to ask if it's the blood of a mythical creature, Klein said as he raised his hands midway. Will stopped crying and said with a laugh, Of course, but I'll swap it ahead of time. Otherwise, everyone will die on the spot. If you can give me something suitable, it's not impossible to give you one drop. Alright, goodbye. Just as Will said that, Klein felt the steeple shake and the dream shatter, and he woke up. 771, Fate Siphon. Oh my god. What item would a Snake of Fate be interested in? He thought for some time and decided to consider it later. After all, he was still at least a month away from Will's birth. He could leave the question for Catley and Bernadette, who was backing her, to rack their brains over. Of course, Klein didn't eliminate the possibility of Will's sudden choice of having an early birth. He slowly turned his attention into creating a Worm of Time charm. According to Will's explanation, he had most of the conditions, but was just short of the corresponding symbol. Pray to the Fool and use the power of the mysterious space above the Great Fog. I wonder if the symbol corresponds to the Marauder pathway would work. Even if it does, I don't even know what it is. Unless I pull a Marauder above the Great Fog and let the high back chair produce the pattern. But then Klein suddenly had an idea. Wait, at this point, shouldn't Will already have a gender? Are we just... Yeah, I know, he's like a month away from being born. Yes, he would very much know. But I guess they don't have sonograms in this world probably yet. And so him being a snake of fate, he can probably just, do whatever he wants basically. So he can change it at last minute. But, and the parents don't know, so they don't have like an expectation, I guess. And Klein suddenly had an idea. In that case, perhaps he could try the symbol of the Fool, the pupilless eye, representing concealment and change. I wonder if that'll work. Divination won't be able to rule it out, but I can predict if the attempt will be successful. Besides, even if it fails, it shouldn't be too big a problem. After all, I'm praying to myself. Even if the materials are wasted in the experiment, I would enter above the Grey Fog. It would enter above the Grey Fog and not be lost. With this, Klein felt pumped. He couldn't help but get out of bed to try it right now. A material like the Worm of Time, left behind by a marauder demigod, still has its essence and even level, even if it's dead. Yeah, because this is a remnant power of a king of angel. This would be like the thing Ouroboros left behind that caused infinite loop time, or like its equivalent in terms of power capabilities, probably. So like, what does that look like for a marauder? I don't know. When using it for a charm, it might not reach the level of an angel, but it wouldn't be too far off. It'll be about the peak strength of a saint. It would be equivalent to having an additional trump card. At critical moments, it might give him an additional life. How could he not be excited? I can only stir some of the powers of the mysterious space above the Grey Fog. The level of the Worm Time will likely drop a little. But regardless, it'll definitely be like the 9th law given to me by Admiral Amaris. If I use the Blatherer's aura to create a high-level charm in the Devil domain, it will likely be at the level of the 9th law. I wouldn't dare to pray to the dark side of the universe. Plus, charms don't have a negative effect. Ah, true. But they're one-time uses, right? Klein wore his pajamas and stood barefoot as he entered above the Grey Fog. He sat at the table and made a divination. The charm I'm about to make will be successful. After he repeated it 7 times, he saw the topaz spinning counterclockwise, rather slow. This means that it will succeed. But that begs the question, will it successfully verify the symbol that I use is effective, or verify that it doesn't work? Right on the heels of that, Klein wrote another statement. The assassination of Mr. X this Friday will be dangerous. Now, he saw the topaz pendant spinning clockwise at a faster frequency and amplitude. Yes, they were one-time use. They also have half their... And they have a half-life. Oh, right. Yes. Thank you. There's significant danger, but it doesn't reach the level of a demigod, much less a king of angel. If it involves an existence at that level, he will definitely resist my divination. From the looks of it, Ouroboros will soon leave Backland. This means the danger itself will be from Mr. X and subordinates. It should be something I can handle. As long as I don't make a mistake, the chances of success are pretty high. Oh, we're killing a traveler, baby. Let's go. Couldn't Klein do something like, instead of asking will there be danger, couldn't he just ask like, will the assassination of Mr. X on Friday be successful? Couldn't he do something like that? As a mysticism expert who often created charms, he had no lack of common materials. He got out some candles, put them on the table. Following that, set up a simple altar against the glow of the dusk. He would then use a piece of silver to draw out the combined symbols that represented the Fool. As Klein didn't know what the path number the Fool represented or what the magical labels were, he could only ensure that both sides remained equal. Forza saved from your harassment? Divinations related to him will have more accuracy. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, then couldn't he ask something like, my endeavor in the assassination of Mr. X will be fortuitous? That's about him. But the corresponding might would be reduced. The chances of failure would rise because this existence that one was praying to could consider it as being irrelevant and not pious enough. Of course, this wasn't a problem for Klein, since he wouldn't reject himself. That'd be more prone to getting a vague answer. For example, yes, successful for him. Oh, I see. Oh, I guess same thing. It would be fortuitous for him. After completing the act of carving the symbol, Klein found a metal bottle, used his spirituality together with a container, and he then poured the mercury out and filled the carved out pattern, or no, for no, he will die after midnight. Okay. Thank you. Then he decided to complete only the front side for now. He would then summon himself and respond to himself. He would then bring the worm and the 12 translucent rings back to the room and place it on the silver sheet. After doing all this, Klein took 2 steps back and said in ancient Hermes, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era." Even if he receives a positive answer, that'll just mean that he'll be successful if he makes the right plans. Following the process, he completed the necessary steps before taking 4 steps counterclockwise and entered the Grey Fog. After imbuing himself with the Black Emperor card, he used his spirituality to store up a tiny amount of power of the Grey Fog. I feel like once he reaches Demigod, he'll be able to use a lot more power of the Grey Fog because he'll have a qualitative change. I would assume that helps a lot. And then the amount of shit that he could probably do with the Grey Fog would be crazy. Bro. As soon as we get to sequence 4, first thing we're doing, we're beating in Zhongwil's ass. Fuck everything else. Everything else can wait. While the surging energy poured into the circles of light, Klein didn't hesitate to return to the real world. He saw the altar had turned dark and gloomy, as there were countless secrets hidden there. And the silver sheet had already floated up, fusing with the Worm of Time's corpse. Klein took 2 steps forward, flipped the silver sheet around, and filled it with the carved symbol on the back of Mercury. On the back with Mercury. As the lines lit up, they effused a hazy luster. Klein rapidly retracted his arms and saw the luster grow richer. He then enveloped the silver sheet and the Worm of Time's corpse inside. Suddenly, the darkness in the altar distorted as the entire space seemed to turn abnormal. This change disappeared as fast as it came. The charms filled with a strange pattern slowly landed on the desk. It was entirely translucent in color and was dark black. It was like a miniature card made of a special crystal. It resembled the eyes of a particular existence that was watching the world. It worked. It really worked. Klein was delighted as he picked up the charm. He found it cold to the touch, as if he was touching snow. Let's go, baby. We have a demigod level charm. Regardless of the resulting effects of the charm, just its formation had meant a success. Holy fuck. Okay. Klein is literally now like pissing distance away from the strength of a demigod. Because he is at the peak of sequence 5, and he now has a demigod charm and the Grey Fog. He busied himself again, bringing the completed item above the Grey Fog. He then used dream divination to figure out how to use it. The charm, which was in the shape of a black crystal, only had one effect, but it was highly potent. It was to siphon off the luck of others, and to be precise, it was to graft fate. A period of the target's fate would be grafted onto the user. Getting more range in marionettes? Dude. He's gonna be a monster. The simplest situation would be when an enemy is about to kill me. I'll use this charm, siphoning off his fate of surviving, as well as grafting the fate of impending death onto him. That is so OP, dude. I assume that looks like some bullshit like what Klein went through last time. Like, you know, he's kneeling on the ground, the guy has a gun to the back of his head. He goes to pull the trigger, falls into a ditch, his hand flicks up, pulls the trigger, and just shoots himself in the face and fucking dies. The situation would be developed into him clearly succeeding, only for him to die. It does match the Marauder pathway's traits, but is more sinister and terrifying. It's going from stealing wealth to stealing fate. If the Worm of Time was alive and I was fully able to employ its powers of the Grey Fog, this charm might even point to the domain of time. Ultimate Uno reverse, actually. You and Romero had the exact same thought. That's so funny. If it wasn't for the assistance this mysterious fog gave him, he had no way to deal with the fog of time. Now it's mine. I won't call it the Worm of Time. I'll call it the Fate Siphon. After dealing with the traces of the ritual, he gravely placed the high-level charm into an iron cigar case, putting it together with Azek's whistle and Signor's gold coin. He then sealed it and isolated the case. Being in a good mood, Klein didn't feel sleepy. He drew the curtains a little and allowed the crimson moonlight to shine in, illuminating his room with tranquility and silence. When he was enjoying the scenery, he saw a figure sneak out of the Member of Parliament's Macht's house. It was none other than Hazel Macht. She was once again heading for the sewers, climbing down. Why is she always heading to the sewers? It's not like there aren't other ways for her to get places. It's not like there aren't other ways for her to get places. After all, each trip doesn't take her more than an hour. Unless she has a very reliable intel, it's difficult to achieve anything. Besides, this will make it easy for her to be caught by official Beyonders. Together with the scenes provided to me by Erdes, she's likely finding something. It's easy for her to encounter danger if she keeps heading out at night. Klein stood behind the curtain as he observed what was happening. He didn't attempt to warn Hazel or let his wraith possess her to let her understand the dangers of the Beyonder world. First, this was because he had quite a subjective view that Hazel's sense of superiority was due to a lack of knowledge and mysticism. Second, he wasn't sure how she had obtained Beyonder powers in a mystical item. Warning her out of gratitude for her kind deed earlier would easily attract attention or even trouble. After enjoying the evening of peace, Klein returned to bed and slept till daybreak. Before Richardson entered, he turned to Gehrman, prayed to the Fool. Oh, I can accept the mission, but regardless of the outcome, I want a stone from that bracelet of yours, as well as the ability to use that spellbook of yours for some time. If it succeeds, all the spoils of war will be mine. You can only take the target's head. If required, you will need to provide assistance. But I guess he's not asking her for money. And Forrest doesn't have any money, so she'd probably be very happy with this. I love how if it was Audrey, Klein would immediately be like, I want 50,000 pounds. Since it's Forrest, it's like, ya broke bitch. We'll just go with spoils of war, a bracelet, and maybe some help. Bro, people watching this are gonna think I fucking hate Force. He wants a stone from my bracelet and the right to use Leimano's travel for some time? How does he even know I have those two things? Forrest was bewildered. It was like he had seen through all of her secrets. Aside from the teacher, Gio, and Mr. Fool, no one knows that I have these 2 items. I haven't even used it yet. You don't? No, I don't hate anyone, bro. I love everyone. Except for Ints. Fuck that guy. All my homies hate Hints. Mr. World appears quite strange during the tarot gatherings. He never hands over Roselle's diary pages, and he doesn't seem to put any effort into this, nor does he show any concern. Does he and the Fool have a deeper connection? He obtains information from the Fool? A believer or a blessed? Only at this point did she have time and energy to consider if she could accept Gehrman's request. For 4, such a price was too cheap, far lower than she had expected. It was reasonable. As a Beyonder who seldom went out and just stayed home, lending Leymano's travel for some time didn't affect her, and likewise, giving her one of the 2 remaining charms that allowed her to travel to the spirit world didn't cause her to lose all her trump cards. The only problem is that Mr. World seems to be willing to only try it once. If he fails, he will still take the payment. Yes, with the fact that he needs to bear the risk, that makes sense. I originally imagined that I would need to help him do some things and obtain a reward from the teacher by using the trader's head to repay the debt. Forrest thought for a moment and said, "Please inform Mr. World that I accept his conditions. I will try my best to provide him with assistance." He originally wished to warn Gehrman that She originally wished to warn Gehrman that using the stone might result in some side effects of receiving the ravings of the full moon. But she realized that it was apparently something only Beyonders of the Apprentice pathway encountered. So is Bethel Abraham a king of angels of the Apprentice pathway? Well, I guess maybe not a king of angels. Sorry, because I don't know. My instinct is still that a sequence 1 is a king of angels, but I have no information now. No, maybe he's so he's a sequence 1 of the king of angel. He's a sequence 1 of the Apprentice pathway. Fuck me. Regardless, if it succeeds or fails, I'll obtain that stone. I'll be able to secretly leave Backland and meet with the Hanged Men to explore that island. When the time comes, I'll use the spellbook to record the usage of the stone. That way, I don't have to worry about the return trip. Unless my luck is terrible and the recording fails. Justin, no, you can't do this. God damn it, I thought we were going to make it through the whole stream without that fucking emoji coming out. Fuck. I've been live for like 2.5 hours and it finally comes out now. Regardless, Klein heaved a sigh of relief and got Richardson to help him dress up. "Sir, after breakfast, your schedule is to head to the Royal Museum to see the royal family's collection exhibit." As Dwayne mastered the social dancing very quickly, the number of etiquette lessons in the morning went from 5 times a week to 3, allowing him to have spare time. As such, the exhibits were definitely a hot topic of conversation. By not going in person, it would make him appear lacking. As for heading to the St. Samuel Cathedral, Klein consciously lowered his frequency. This wasn't because he needed to donate tens of pounds each time, but he was afraid that heading there frequently, despite having the novelty period wear off, would be suspicious. Being natural and reasonable were core traits of his plans. Other than on Sunday, he planned on randomly heading to the church on 2 of the remaining 6 days. He wanted to rely on a longer period of time to accumulate intelligence to figure out a pattern. He couldn't be impatient or in a rush. "I'm already looking forward to it," Klein replied to his valet. Upon thinking of the cathedral and the Church of the Evernight, he naturally connected it to Leonard's secret investigation of Sherlock. He didn't understand what he was suspicious about. Is it because of Emmeline's purchase of Tinder that drove Leonard to investigate people related to him? Or was it because of fleeting, where was I? Or was it because of the fleeting appearances of the detective in the cases of Capim and Lanavis that made the Red Gloves notice something? Or both? He wasn't afraid that Sherlock would be wanted by the Church of the Evernight. After all, apart from contacting a few people he was familiar with, the detectives had yet to appear again. He was worried that someone would discover that Sherlock, in his early appearance, resembled Klein greatly and would pursue the deceased member of the Nighthawks. Nah, that's too far-fetched. That's never gonna happen. Westboro, 2 Kings Avenue, Royal Museum. Klein passed through the ticket entrance with Butler Walter and Valley Richardson and went to the museum. The exhibition was held by Lone's royal family. They showcased all kinds of collections. As a graduate of the Department of History, Klein was rather interested. Many of the matters he was familiar with had corresponding items appear there. What left Klein puzzled was Walter's deep understanding towards most of the exhibits. He introduced them to Duane in extreme detail, as expected of such a well-known butler. Klein forgets Leonard is a goated detective. Klein forgets Leonard has a fucking demigod. No, not a demigod. He has a fucking angel just riding with him. He perused the exhibits. The trio kept encountering other visitors. Klein and the exhibition hall was quiet and orderly, so people had to converse in whispers. After passing by the exhibit, Klein noticed Walter suddenly stopped. He glanced to his side as his expression turned complicated. As he wasn't a spectator, Klein wasn't able to interpret the meaning of these feelings. All he could do was trace Walter's gaze. Standing in front of the exhibit was a man and a woman. The man was in his 30s, and the man was in his 30s and wore a black suit. The woman was in a yellow dress with a golden necklace. Mr. Butler was looking at that man. Klein forgets Leonard. We've both got secrets, Mitchell. True. He's like, we're both protagonists. Dude. Just saying that brings such bad memories of when you guys gaslit the fuck out of me at the ending of Volume 1. Holy fuck. My heart rate still kind of spikes when I think about it. Fuck you guys, dude. Oh my fucking god. I don't even want to think about that. He realized that the man looked rather old. His skin was dark as a result of frequent exposure to the skin. If I didn't look at his attire, I would have believed he was a farmer, gardener, or carriage driver. He was puzzled. The reason why he noticed these details was because he had considered the appearance of an ordinary person who adventured in southern continent for a long amount of time before constructing the identity of Duane. He believed that apart from his gaze, bearing, and natural facial features that were etched by rich experience, Duane also needed to have details such as skin that had experienced long periods of sun tanning, unobvious scars, and rough but strong palms. I have to say that from the moment I became faceless, I'm getting more and more experienced and wise in the aspects of creating a new character. If I were to return to Earth, even without my Beyonder powers, I'd have strong acting abilities. As for the man with somewhat old features and rough skin, he pointed at the flag inside the exhibition case. This is the flag that the Earl of Lastings, Prince Herod Augustus, used during the White Rose War. Unfortunately, he perished in that war. However, his death was the turning point of the entire war, and the reason why Lone eventually clinched victory. Look, the flag still has his blood. Prince of the Augustus family. That's good to be like a demigod or some shit, right? His blood should still have some powers, no? Maybe Klein could take some of his blood and give it to Catlea. Maybe? He's quite knowledgeable in history. Klein swept his gaze towards Walter. He then smiled and approached and interjected the couple. I've never expected such a neglected tidbit of history would be known by someone else. I originally believed that the people's understanding of the White Rose was only limited to Lone's victory against Intis. Sir, your eruditeness has left me amazed. To be praised in front of his partner, the man's expression turned from a wary one to a relaxed one. A gleeful smile appeared on his face. I'm just a person who likes history. He casually swept his gaze at the servant of the man as he suddenly frowned. There were remnant looks of puzzlement. Indeed, he knows Walter. Klein smiled while maintaining his composure. Hello there, I'm a merchant from Desi. Dwayne Dantes, how may I address you? The man hesitated and said, William Sykes, a land steward at a manor. I mean, Prince Edisek was not a Beyonder? Oh, true. I guess not everyone has to be. But I would just imagine Prince of the Augustus family. Bro, you've got angels in your family and your bitch ass isn't even a Beyonder? Step your shit up, bro. Okay. I think we'll leave I think we'll do one more chapter and we'll leave it at 773, okay? I think with all the reacting, I feel like the fact that we did 7 chapters is pretty good, okay? The important figures of the royal family are not allowed to advance to sequence 4. Oh, sorry, Romero. I read like the first half of that message before it got deleted. I just know that the upper echelons of the family are not not allowed to advance to sequence 4. I don't know anything else. William Sykes, a land steward. Klein repeated the response he got. After a short chat, he bade farewell and walked towards the other exhibits with Walter and Richardson. When it was almost noon, Klein, who had returned to his high-end carriage, looked at the passing by bicycles when he said, Walter, you seem to know Mr. Sykes? I once knew him while I was working for the Viscount Conrad's household. He served a member of the royal family, the former Earl of Lastings, Prince Edisek. Future info? Oh, okay. Prince Edisek. Could this have something to do with, like, Trissy? A man is frowning? A woman is involved? That is not a woman? A demoness. He was once in the service of Prince Edisek and is living quite a good life after the prince passed away. I wonder what manors he's the steward of. Perhaps he has some secrets. Klein began to wonder if he should find an opportunity to investigate William. If William really knows something, the royal family's faction wouldn't leave him. Perhaps he's a part of that faction. In short, investigating him would be dangerous. There's no way to entrust this to anyone. I guess Miss Sharon could, but it might destroy her peaceful life. The best solution is to use the hero bandit Black Emperor. But the problem is that before stealing the indigenous family notebook, my investigation of the Great Smog of Backland should only be superficial. I don't want to alarm anyone. Finally, he held back his thoughts, being unwilling to affect the most pertinent matter he had at the present. After having lunch and taking a nap, Klein received classes in literary appreciation until it was almost noon. After sending his teacher away, he heard the doorbell ring. Standing outside were 2 police officers in black and white checkered uniform. From their epaulets, one of them was a high-ranking inspector, while the other a sergeant. Alright, thanks Mr. Shark, thanks for popping by. This is the last chapter anyway, so you're not going to miss too much. Probably like 20 minutes of reading, maybe less even. The high-ranking officers, how may I help you? Richardson asked on behalf of his employer. The high-ranking officer turned and said, I'm here for Mr. Dwayne Dantes. There's a case that involves him and his butler. What is it? I'm Dwayne Dantes. Officers, how may I address you? If the matter is a little more complicated and needs more time, why not come to my parlor where we can discuss it over tea? The other police officer, the sergeant, was an elegant lady. She was clearly interested in taking up the offer as she looked at the high-ranking inspector. Due to the Church of the Evernight Goddess, the lone police force had plenty of female officers. Let's go! Equality! But due to the other fates and the prevailing trends of society, they suffered some discrimination when it came to promotions and positions. They mostly did clerical work, as there was a glass ceiling in their development. There's no need for tea, but we need to question your servants. Mr. Dwayne Dantes, do you know a person by the name of William Sykes? I got to know him at the Royal Museum. Did something happen to him? He's dead. He died at a hotel near the Royal Museum. He's dead? I just met him and he's dead? Yes, the cause of death is rather complicated, and we aren't ruling out murder. What about his female partner? He had a female partner when I met him. That lady was his mistress. When she left the hotel, Mr. Sykes was still alive. This can be confirmed by the attendants at the hotel, because they later sent him red wine. After leaving the museum, where did you go? I came back here directly. I came back here directly. I had lunch, took a nap, and attended lessons. My servants, neighbors, and literary appreciation teacher can prove that. Bring Walter here. He turned his head to Richardson and said. Soon, Walter appeared and was asked similar questions. After receiving Dwayne's permission, the other two officers questioned the rest of his servants, but failed to find any problems. They didn't stay for long, politely bidding him farewell and visiting other neighbors. Klein's appetite wasn't affected as he went to the second floor. Time quickly flew by as he spent the rest of his time reading books and newspapers. Before sleeping, Klein took in the scenery outside as he awaited his valet, Richardson, to take away the fruit in his room. Suddenly, he turned his head. What did Walter do in the afternoon? He was busy handling various matters. He never left. Phew! He slowly exhaled as he got into bed. In the middle of the night, Klein's spirituality was triggered as he snapped awake. He pricked open his brows, left the bed, and arrived by the window. He pulled back the curtains. Under the dim moonlight, a figure carefully passed through the garden trail and arrived at the perimeter walls before flipping over it. He was none other than Butler Walter. He's agile and his motions fluid. If he's not trained, he's a low-sequence beyonder. He saw Walter's shadow follow the street until he arrived at the manhole cover which Hazel used to enter the sewers. He removed the manhole cover and didn't forget to close it. Why is everyone so skilled at getting into the sewers? Thank you, Klein. What the fuck? Mr. Butler likely hasn't done it in the past. Otherwise, my spirituality would have warned me. After all, he's leaving my territory. It means that before he became my butler, he had performed such actions quite frequently elsewhere. Klein took out the iron cigar case from under his pillow. There's a sewer organization. I'm telling you, there are lizard people living in the sewers, Justin. You have to believe me. I saw them. Klein then controlled his wraith to tail Senor to see what he was up to. Hopefully he doesn't exceed 100 meters, otherwise I'll have to enter the sewers. Ugh. His marionette Senor immediately used the mysterious connection between different mirrors to jump into the street lamp beside the manhole cover before passing it through the manhole to silently tail Walter. The Rats Convention. He saw that Walter turned into a more secluded and dark passage after taking more than 10 meters. After taking 10 meters forward. What? After walking 10 meters forward? What is taking 10 meters forward? What? Trust me, they're not lizards, they're turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? They're real? You've seen them, Dr. Z? Let's go! Fuck me, Jesus Christ. Sorry, it rained like really loud for like 5 minutes and then it stops. The butler suddenly stopped and said to someone, "Why were you so rash? Why didn't you wait for a better opportunity?" Soon, a weak and slightly hoarse female voice responded. "Trissy?" It was the best opportunity. Once he returns to that manor, there's no knowing when he will come out again. But why would you be so seriously injured? Walter asked. William Sykes is stronger than what we imagined. Perhaps only this way can he satisfy his secret identity. My mom always thought they are violent. They are too violent for me and didn't let me to watch that. Regardless, I finally obtained clues from him. After so much time, I have a chance to approach the truth. You don't need to be so rash. Walter fell silent. The female voice chuckled. I've already sold my soul to an evil god. The only meaning to life is vengeance. Is this Tracy? I know, I wasn't so restricted either. My parents, dude, I was like 10 when GTA 5 came out. Oh shit, my parents bought me that too. This shit was based as fuck. My earliest memory is like, maybe not my earliest, but one of my earliest ones. I was like 4 or 5 and I was playing GTA Vice City. Hell yeah. I was like 5 years old, running people over in a car. God. Good parenting. I encountered 18 plus stuff when I was like 5. Jesus Christ, that does not sound good though. Okay. In a rare instance, Walter sighed and said, "Continue hiding here. I'll prepare food for you until you recover. If there aren't any accidents, use the old method to contact me." The female voice remained silent for a while before saying, "When he was alive, he had many subordinates who claimed to be loyal. After his death, few still remember him or are willing to risk their lives for him. You are the one who surprised me the most. He's the first noble who treated me that way, and he's the person I'm loyal to." This is Trissy, right? Having heard the conversation, Klein vaguely understood the story. After Prince Edisac passed away, a few of his loyal subordinates were investigating the truth. Walter was one of them. But he was mainly in charge of gathering superficial intelligence, as well as using his identity for some help. This is probably additional developments that Erdas mentioned. Klein immediately made Senor go invisible as he infiltrated the secluded pathway and saw Walter conversing with someone. His figure blocked a black-dressed woman who was seated on the ground against the wall. Her face was somewhat pale. After the woman heard Walter's words, she gave a throaty laugh and looked at the entrance. "It's time you leave. Don't be caught by others." She turned her head, allowing Klein to see her. She had a round face, slender eyes, and a gentle and refined temperament. Deep down, she was sweet and an outstandingly gorgeous beauty who Klein knew. Trissy Cheek. Dude. He needs to go talk to her, right? He needs to go talk to her. Fuck, that is such a dog shit place to leave. Holy fuck, who do you think she sold her soul to? I would assume she's referring to the Demoness of Pleasure, but I don't know. I think Berserk is the reason I like gore. Wait, I thought you hated gore, Romero. What? Trissy cheeks. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought you hated gore. What? Do you like gore? Am I wrong on that? Oh god, I don't have any money. What the fuck? I actively watch gore? Okay, never mind. Okay. Man, oh, Trissy's back. Dude, background is so complicated. What the fuck? Romero's a weirdo. Devil, I don't know if you know this, but we know some things about you, man. You should just choose your words wisely. That's all I'm gonna say. Four card 21, you're kidding. Nice. god, nice. You guys are watching my gambling habit on full display right now. You're fucking kidding me, bro. In a row? What is happening? No, fuck off. This is insane. Thank God. Whew. One last time for the boys. If I lose it, we leave it here. Fuck. Okay, that's it. All right, that's it. We're gonna call it there. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day or nights. I'll see you guys in the morning for another stream. We're gonna figure out what the fuck is happening with Trissy. Holy fuck! I'm so excited. Holy fuck! God, I love Backland. We never should have left. This is the best place. Let's fucking go. Bye, guys.